Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. This is the Bruno Fernandes watch-along as he plays his last game for Sporting Lisbon against Benfica. A Manchester United deal is pretty much going to happen straight after this game. Probably tomorrow if he's going to wear the number 18 shirt. That's the sort of shit we do. But I've had a couple of beers. I'm going to admit to that straight away because I'm not actually over the moon about doing a watch-along for this one, because I would have watched this game anyway, but doing a watch-along for it has got me feeling very, very nervous, because if he gets an injury, then he doesn't sign for Manchester United. I'm that close. Just when I was out, they put me back in, and I'm that close to getting the player I want at Manchester United. That close. And people telling me, oh, it'll be fine. He'll be clapping the fans and crying at the end as he leaves Sporting to come to Manchester United. Do you know how important this signing is? Do you know how important this signing is to me? Guarantee it. You know, I've got a fear of sharks, right? Guarantee if I went swimming in waist-length water in Australia or in South Africa, because I've got a fear of sharks, guarantee one of the shits would come and bite me in half. So Bruno Fernandes, I want him to sign for Manchester United. Absolutely guarantee there's a massive chance that something's going to happen to him injury-wise tonight. So that's just the way it works, isn't it? Fate. And I'm worried. I think United didn't want him to play tonight, but Sporting have said that they want him to play. It's part of the deal, so he's going to play, isn't it? It's as simple as that. Kickoff is in 15 minutes. Interesting fact for you, actually. You can tell I've had a beer. Interesting fact for you. The game kicks off at 9:15 Portuguese at UK time. I presumed, that's because we're an hour ahead or something like that. No, because in Spain, it's actually coming up for 10 o'clock at night. So who kicks off at 10 o'clock? But Portugal is the only mainland Europe country that is in line with the UK for times. Their clocks go forward and their clocks go back when ours do. So Portugal actually has the same time as us. In Italy, in Spain, in France, at the moment, it's 10 o'clock at night, not 9 o'clock at night. So Portuguese kick football matches off at 9:15 at night. I'm watching this channel here. I've just been watching Swedish ice hockey because the game is on Free Sports TV, which you can get on Sky and Virgin, by the way. But I'm now currently watching two people chopping logs. I don't know what that's all about because it's meant to be Sporting versus Benfica. So they're just climbing up a tree and just chopping logs. It's weird. I don't know what they're up to. Don't know what they're up to, but we are doing a Sporting versus a Bruno Fernandes watch-along. That's what we're doing today. That's what it's all about. And I think most Manchester United fans, if you're not doing what normal people do on a Friday night and having a night out, we are doing a Bruno Fernandes watch-along. That is what we're doing. So join us and get involved. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner, we can change that number in the top right-hand corner to 630,000 tonight because we're only about 150 subscribers away. So if you haven't subscribed, bottom right-hand corner, please do smash a like on the video. My computer is ridiculously slow again. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. I can't even get my live chat up here at the moment, but hopefully it will sort itself out. I don't know, that's not a good start, is it? Can't get my live comments working. They were there a minute ago. I'm sure they'll come back in a second. But yes, Sporting Lisbon against Bruno Fernandes. And I'm sure a lot of you need to put your hands up and say that this is the first time you've watched Bruno Fernandes ever. And if that is the case, then welcome. And, I hope you're going to enjoy it. He wears the number 8 shirt for Sporting Lisbon. And, it's going to be interesting. Mark, I've just watched women's hockey on channel. I've never known it existed. And I'm about to watch a Portuguese man's hairy legs run around for 90 minutes, praying they stay safe. Let's never forget this night, says Nick P. Only Manchester United would do this. Only Manchester United could do this. We're about to sign a really important player, but we've got to watch him play his last game in a derby. It's just ridiculous. Hi, Mark. Would Bruno play against Liverpool? Also, why would Benfica want to injure him? Because if they do, Benfica would have to put up with him. Says, I like toast. XO. Yeah, no, but you can get injured in lots of different ways. Mark, that's why they call it GMT, Lisbon, London time. Red Baron, you're educated. I think you're right. Mark, shut your negative thoughts and be positive, says Michelle. Thank you. Bit rude, but yeah, take your point. Don't you have a feeling then Antonio Conte is going to be our next manager? Ruthlessness in clearing the squad. No, Conte wouldn't want the job, would he? He's took most of our players. Mark, do you think Harry being captain and Bay contract extension is a smokescreen by the club to delay any other announcement to appease fans, says Simon Cliff? There is some breaking news from Manchester United, by the way. I must give you some of that. Apparently we've got a bit of I mean, I shouldn't really fall for this. I fall for it a lot, but I don't mind checking because I'm in that sort of mood. But there is some news. Ashley Young's gone. A few people said to me, "Why have you not done a video for Ashley Young?" And my feeling is that we are not. We are not. I mean, my feeling with Ashley Young is I was not going to do an announcement video for Ashley Young because I don't want to. I don't want to get involved with it. What's this BBC Radio Live thing that Simon Stones retweeted about Bruno Fernandes? Because I can't listen to it because I'm actually doing a show here at the moment, of course, so I can't listen to it. But some people have drawn my attention to it, and it's got me a little bit worried about what he's saying. Deal off, apparently. Okay. Yeah, that's got me a little bit worried. He's very reliable. If we disregard the tactics, isn't Ollie on the right track with the rebuild? I mean, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, James, and now hopefully Bruno, says Frederick Larson. And just watching logs get chops. Just hope Bruno don't get chops this evening, says Steve-O Etherton. Yeah, I hope it's not a metaphor, Steve-O. Mark, has a fee been agreed with Sporting? Is that definitely sincerely? Hope so, says Jordan Search. Well, this is what, we're going off what Sky is saying here. I mean, look, I've not got a hotline. I've not got a hotline bling with Sporting Lisbon, unfortunately. And I went off what Sky is saying this afternoon. So the Scarf says, Mark, what do you think about the Bruno Fernandes x Mark Goldbridge memes, which are doing the rounds on Twitter at the moment? I think they're brilliant. I think they're really funny. Actually, with regards to that. Right, I'm gonna have to try and find a way. I know what to do because I can't play this live because I'll probably get in trouble off BBC Radio Live. So I need to listen to what's being said so that I can update you. This is what happens when you have a few beers and people ask you to do a watch along. This is not your normal standard professional United Stand show. Give me some of that. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time tonight. But I'm a little bit worried, actually, because a lot of people are saying something here that Simon Stone is quite reliable. And if he is retweeting stuff, let's have a listen. I'll listen in while I'm talking to you. Mark, how can I watch the game on Sky in the UK? Says Jay Singh. Go to Free Sports website and on the top banner it will tell you what channel it is. It's 553 on Virgin. Bruno 18 or 20. I know if I'm right, number 20 is the low. Obviously, I'm going to buy the announced date, but if we sign him, hoping he'll get the number 7, to be honest, says Paul Chadwick. Thanks, Paul. I think he might get 25. Wait a minute, I'm listening to this. So Spurs walked away in the summer. This is what BBC Radio 5 are saying, for 45 million. And United have gone a bit beyond that. United have gone about 50 million. So BBC Radio Live is saying that Sporting want 80 million euros, which is about 70 million. Which I don't think that's true. Who is this idiot on BBC Ride Live 5 Live, by the way? I recognise his voice, but he's talking like a bloody idiot. He's saying, I hope Bruno's not going to throw his shirt into the crowd because he'll be there on Monday morning. He's talking shit, to be honest. I ain't having any of this. Yeah, he's not worth 80 million. I agree with that. He's not worth 80 million. I'm listening to this, what everyone's talking about at the moment. Yeah, I'm just listening to this. I'll fill you in a minute. Oh, that's what she said. Darren Fletcher. I can't stand him anyway. Can't stand his voice. He's a B-Tech Darren Fletcher. That's who he is. He's a Poundland Darren Fletcher. Who's had a heavy Christmas by the looks of it. He's saying Bruno Fernandes is a non-starter, basically. He's saying that no personal terms have been done. And this is coming out from... This is an hour ago. This is the 17th at 7 o'clock tonight. But Duncan Castles says that... that it's on. Look, I don't believe that from Darren Fletcher. I mean, if nobody's listened to it, look, the BBC are very reliable here in the UK, and what they're saying is that Manchester United are willing to go to about 50 million, but Sporting Lisbon want closer to 80 million euros, right? And they're saying that the deal's far from done. United are basically walking away. Personal terms haven't been agreed, and it's not going to happen. I'm pretty sure, and I've said that this reminds me of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I'm pretty sure that with Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the summer, somebody can go and check this out on Twitter. I'm pretty sure with Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the summer, Simon Stone or the BBC said the same. They said this deal is far from being done, because what happens is you get Sky and everybody else who are getting information before the BBC at the moment. The BBC only ever really report on credible information, which I understand why people are a bit concerned about that. But as James Cooper said, who is the Sky Sports Manchester United correspondent, Manchester United have got to get this deal done. They need a midfielder, and they've put their eggs all into one basket. There is not long left in this January transfer window. There is 2 weeks. If Manchester United don't get this deal done because Sporting Lisbon wanted too much money, then you're walking away from it for the same reason you walked away from it in the summer. And to me, I don't give a damn. Like, beggars can't be choosers. You're not going to get a brownie point or a scouting badge because you walked away because Sporting wanted too much money. It's a buyer's market in January. I mean, look, I've got no sympathy for Manchester United. You absolutely bleed fans dry and have done it for years. I've got no sympathy if you get overcharged by Sporting Lisbon. Go and sign this player. If you've got to pay 80 million, tough shit. Like, tough shit. Your net spend in the last 2 summers has been 60 million. You've spent nothing in the last 2 January transfer windows. Take it on the chin as accumulation. Pay the bloody money. Get the player. I've got no sympathy if United try and spin it. We had to walk away because they wanted 80 million. I've got no sympathy. Buy the bloody player. 80 million, 100 million, I don't give a shit. Get the player done. And I mean that now. I don't believe that. But I'm not having that. I'm not one of those United fans who goes, oh, we got him for 50 million. We spent 80 million pounds on Harry Maguire. If we're spending 80 million pounds on Harry Maguire, we can spend 80 million on Bruno Fernandes. I don't think we'll spend anywhere near that. I think we'll get him for about 50 million. I think Sporting Lisbon are desperate for the money and they're overpricing him at 80 million. But go and spend the bloody money. That's what I say. The deal is off, as being reported right now by various reliable sources other than BBC. We pulled out of the deal because we couldn't agree on a fee, says Shady Abenaza. Well, we'll see. And Liam Blassie says that Simon Stone retweeted it an hour ago. We'll see. But if Manchester United pull out of this deal for Bruno Fernandes, they can go fuck themselves, basically. They really can. I'll be furious, and that's why I don't believe it, because you cannot, as James Cooper says, put all your eggs in one basket and not pull this deal off. You've got to get it done. And I've got no sympathy. You know, if we're going to do this whole we don't get held to ransom shit, you've held the fans of this football club to ransom for 15 years. Do not even try to say we won't be held to ransom. Who are we? Shareholders who bleed the bloody club dry. We is not the United fans. When you say we won't be held to ransom, that's not Manchester United fans. You hold us to ransom with your bloody Lego deals and your condom deals. You hold us to ransom. Spend the bloody money. I've got no sympathy. Get the player in. I ain't bothered about the money. Go and get the player. So you can shove it up your arse if you think you're pulling out of this deal. I ain't getting sucked back into this again. I went through this in the summer. Do not mug me and Manchester United fans off. I had no expectation that we were going to sign Bruno Fernandes after you blew it in the summer. Absolutely none. None. Zilch. Had no expectation you were going to sign him. Even said on January the 5th, when I was really thinking about being Ollie out, I was like, Ollie, if you want me to be Ollie in for the next 2 years, sign Bruno Fernandes. It was a flippant comment. A few days later, we're in for him. I'm like, bloody hell, I don't believe this. Not till he's holding the shirt up. And over the last week, they've absolutely lubed me up and said, there he is, we're going to sign the player that you want. And everyone else feels like this. Do not pull away at the last... Don't pull out at the last minute. Finish the job. Finish the job. That's what she said. But yeah, I mean it. I mean it. Do not pull out of this deal because you think you're being ripped off. Screw that. Screw that for a game of blockbusters. Pay the bloody money because you have got hundreds of millions of pounds you've took out of this bloody club. You bought it on debt, you shits. You bought this club on debt. Don't try with your old, we won't be held to ransom, we're pulling out because they want too much money. Shove it up your arse and your media mates who will try and spin it to make it out like, woo, well done, Man United. They didn't want, they won't be held to ransom. Up, get stuffed. Get stuffed. Pay the bloody money. You've heard it now. You've heard it now. Anyway, we'll know at the end of the game with Bruno Fernandes anyway, won't we? That's why we're doing it. That's why we're doing it. Well, there's a bit of a battle. Do you trust Sky or do you trust BBC? Yeah, BBC. I mean, I would be a little bit worried about that news story, to be honest with you. I would be a little bit worried about that news. Anyway, we've got lots of other news to talk about. Eric Bailly's been given a new contract, by the way. I'm not doing a timer today. It's not an official watch along. I'm not doing a timer, but we are watching up. Bruno Fernandes is on the pitch. Cameras are on him. Number 8. This could be horrible, couldn't it? Because we might watch them and he might not come. When United on Footy Manager but edited it so Woodward leaves after one season because every time his smug face pops up, I want to smash my last laptop, says Dazu W. Exactly. At least you don't want to... No, I'm not saying that. Look, everyone knows the mood I'm in. I wonder if Bruno will try and force it, says TJ Smith. What's going on? Says Andrea Soren. So BBC, Simon Stone has retweeted that the deal's nowhere near done and United don't want to pay the price. That is in the last hour. That is what's winding me up. Number 8, Bruno Fernandes plays for Sporting Lisbon, by the way, and he's the captain as well. The game is about to kick... Well, the game should have kicked off, actually. It's meant to be a 9:15 kickoff, so it should have kicked off by now, but it's 17. They don't care in Portugal. They don't care. They're just very relaxed. But obviously Sky and everyone else are saying that the deal is very, very close. Look, we're basically going to watch Bruno Fernandes play hopefully his last game for Sporting tonight. We don't want him to get injured or anything like that. And on top of that, we also want to see him at the end of the pitch, end of the game, crying and throwing his shirt and saying goodbye. So that's going to be the biggest thing. United must have known after last summer what sort of price Sporting would want for Bruno. So what's the point in going back in for him if we're never going to pay up? Even if we get him, it's clear to see how we are run, says Jordan Search. Yeah, and I think beyond Bruno Fernandes, it's what we do beyond Bruno Fernandes, isn't it? If you're interested, Sporting Lisbon he's there. Look, there's Bruno. He's doing the coin toss. Do something United related, like pull your t-shirt up and have a picture of me. See you soon, Goldbridge. Mark, at the start of January it was uncertain anyone would come. If you get Bruno and Samare, would it be a success, says Ricardo Mitchell? Yeah, it would be. Massive success. Anyway, if you're interested in this game, it's Benfica against Sporting Lisbon. It's a derby. Bruno Fernandes is playing at number 8. Benfica are top of the league with 45 points. Sporting Lisbon are in 4th place with 29 points. So they're 16 points behind Benfica. No prospect of winning the league. Benfica are always been the better team. Interestingly, Julian Weigl, who is a player that a lot of United players wanted a lot of you wanted a couple of years ago, he plays in the midfield for Benfica. He's recently moved there, I think, in the January transfer window. So yeah, that is interesting. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're trying to change that number in the top right hand corner to 630,000. I can tell you, subscribers wise, we are on. We're only 70 subscribers away from hitting 630,000. So please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and you can share the video by sharing it with the share button underneath the video. Just share it on Twitter and Facebook. The funny thing is we've got nearly 16,500 people watching, which is more than we had for Manchester United versus Wolves the other night. shows the interest in this signing, Manchester United. If you're watching Ed Woodward, we've got more people watching a Bruno Fernandes watch-along than the bloody Wolves game. It shows you how important this signing is. The game is on Free Sports TV, which you can get on Sky and you can get on Virgin. It's not a channel for virgins, by the way. I don't know whether you get Virgin Media in other countries, but we have got something called Virgin Media, and it isn't exclusively. You don't have to be a virgin to get it. It's not like, you know, God TV for like religious people or Liverpool fan TV for Liverpool fans. Virgin Media is not for virgins. It's anybody can get it. So it's on 553 on Virgin Media because I've got Virgin Media, but it is on Sky Sports. And it's also, if you go on their website, you can find what channels it's on. Ruben Diaz also plays, might be worth watching, says Alvin Johan. So Benfica on the ball at the moment, and the game has kicked off. We're about 40 seconds in. Bruno Fernandes will play to the, I'm just trying to see where he is at the moment. He plays like a sort of off the striker role, Bruno. In fact, he's just done a little bit of a tackle there. That looked like a good tackle, ref. See how quick he is across the ground. There he is. Portuguese league is quite quick, you know. That was a foul by Bruno. Don't be kicking people, Bruno. Keep your legs safe. Wrap them up in bubble wrap. Joe Thompson, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Welcome, Joe. There's a nice little layoff from... Oh, Bruno's just lost the ball there. Twitter will be saying his shit. But Bruno Fernandes is basically playing off the striker. It's like a 4-4-1-2 that they're playing, and which is exactly the sort of position we want him to play for United. But Benfica, oh, he could have gone down there. That looked like a handball. Played it on. Grimaldo, I think, plays left back for Benfica, doesn't he? Yeah, Jack Lawrence has just confirmed that. Benfica are actually looking the better team at the moment, and they've just shot over the bar there. I think that was Vinicius. Good shot. And welcome to Fahad Al-Dawad, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. A bit off topic, but what's your thoughts on La Liga TV launching in the UK, says Joel Morris. I don't really know anything about it, mate, to be honest with you. Don't really know anything about it. So, a little bit of an update as we move through this stream. Bruno Fernandes to Manchester United. We've done the videos today. Sky Sports saying that very close. All the eggs in one basket. Just gone live, and BBC's Simon Stone, who is very credible, has retweeted something from BBC Radio 5 Live saying that this deal is not near. Thoughts that Bruno Fernandes will be in the crowd for Liverpool are very premature, and he better not be throwing his shirt into the crowd after the game, because he'll be back training with Sporting on Monday morning, because Sporting Lisbon want too much money and Manchester United won't pay it. And as Manchester United and Ed Woodward said, we won't be held to ransom. So I don't really give a damn about being held to ransom, to be honest with you. Mark, please tell me this deal is still on. I think the fan base will go into meltdown if it doesn't happen. Twitter will blow up as well, says JC. If this deal doesn't happen, I'll be furious, because I even said it was a week ago that this deal started, and I was like, more than anything, I want it to happen. A week ago as well, Simon Stone said we wanted him and we were in for him, and a week later he's retweeting stuff saying the deal's nowhere near. But if this doesn't happen, I'll be bloody furious for loads of reasons. One, because I want this player, but two, because I never expected this to go for him in January anyway. I thought that ship had sunk. I was fed up of defending myself, saying I know we wanted him in the summer and we backed out, and everyone was going, we were never in for him. We were never in for him. You're full of shit. We were never in for him. And I knew we were in for him, and I knew we backed out because we didn't want to pay the money. So I never expected us to go back, because for United to be leaking out that they were never in for him in the summer, I thought, you snidey shits. You're not going to ever go back in for him. If they go back in for him, you think we're going to get him. You know, we're all sceptical, and then we get all the credible stuff. Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. If it falls apart, I'll be so bloody angry, because I never expected us to go back into him, and they suck us back in and spit us out. Mark, if you ended up United ended up paying 80 for a player who is worth much less, every player United go for will be marked up by at least 20 or 30 million. Thoughts, says Siraj Chowdhury. I don't care, Siraj, to be honest. In relation to this player, I don't care if we pay 200 million. We need a midfielder, and this is the right midfielder. And Bruno's on the ball, but he's offside. Did you see what Sporting fans and Portuguese pundits have said about Bruno? They said to replace his quality and output, you would need 3 players, says Ricardo Mitchell. I did read about that. That was from his actual coach of Sporting. Red Baron, wouldn't it be typical from our board to not pay over the odds? We're run just like Arsenal. Remember when Arsenal could have got Suarez? Yeah, I do. And Michael Gibbs, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. And Alex Bursell says, Mark, will you do a transfer video on Samari? I know nothing about him and want to be hyped over something about him. Did it yesterday, mate. Compared him, told everybody what sort of player he is, gave you examples of what players he's like in the Premier League. Yesterday afternoon, Samari video, everything you need to know about him. There we go. We are 5 minutes into this game, and it's quite 50-50 at the moment. Sporting Lisbon at home, by the way. I mean, the interesting thing is, Sporting Lisbon do need the money as well, so they can't take the piss. I just Longstaff incoming, says Adam Hind. There is no timer. It's not an official watch-along. It's a Bruno Fernandes watch-along and a chat. Nord says, if Bruno doesn't happen, no way we're getting made to look like mugs again. Walkouts if Bruno doesn't happen. Yeah, I don't know whether the United fan base is engaged with the Bruno Fernandes deal as much as the United stand community is, to be honest with you. I don't know. I've spoken to a few fans and they're quite excited about it, but I don't know whether they get the enormity of the deal, if that makes sense. Maybe the only way to get it through if Bruno hands in a transfer request, but would he do that though, says Philip Burton would. Well, yeah, I always say that. I think that's very important. I think it is important that players do those sort of things. BK2415 says, who are you supporting? Bruno. So, Sporting. Simon says, your stream's 40 seconds. I'm watching it on the telly, mate. I'm not fussed if I'm 40 seconds behind, to be honest with you, because it's a Bruno watch-along. I'm really not interested in being second to second. I'm watching it on the telly on Free Sports TV, so if their stream's a little bit behind, it's a bit behind. Will United Stand podcast return? Was 10 out of 10 and I loved it. It's not an idiot. Yeah, we have got plans to do that. Defo. Jordan Such says, Mark, being a United fan, my honest opinion is I agree with the BBC. Not for 1 minute have I thought this deal has ever been close. I agree 100%. He will probably still be training with Sporting on Monday. Faith has gone in our board. Jordan, I tell you what, I've got to be honest with you. That BBC thing has rocked me a little bit. It has. I'm not going to start pretending that the BBC aren't credible when I think that Simon Stone is. So, and I think Simon Stone gets briefed by the club. So, I am a little bit worried. But we'll see. If the club mess this up, as fans need to come together and do something about the owners, says John Brosnan. How strong is Bruno's passing? Somebody just said there. Very good. Very, very good. It's 0-0 at the moment, by the way. And Bruno is playing at number 8. He's over on the left-hand side of the pitch at the moment. Yannick Bolasie plays for Sporting Lisbon as well, formerly of Palace and Everton. Good mates with Rance, actually. They're good mates. I think they grew up together. He sent him a shirt, actually, for Christmas. But I don't know why Rance doesn't know what's happening on. Jay Cooper says, get him. Sporting need to sell him because we need a quality midfielder, which is him. I still think it's going to happen. But what I would say is the cynic in me starts to grow because I know how crap United's board is. What I would say is that I always thought it was weird if he's playing... Here he is, Bruno. Nice little dribble there. See the speed there and the way he dribbles. Give it him back. Give it him back. Here he is, Bruno. Trying to play a ball over the top, you see. See how he can just do that like Pogba can, really quick. Culture vulture, Bruno there. A bit of a dribble, looking for a long ball over the top to his forwards. What worried me was this whole he's going to play against Benfica and then he's going. I mean, it's just a very weird thing to do in the modern day. I was thinking it before I came live. I was like, How weird is this? Like, to do a watch along for a player we're about to sign and he's playing in a big game against Benfica. I'm just like, it's weird. It's not even a pre-season game. It's like, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. I mean, the interesting thing about what the BBC are saying, 80 million euros. I've never heard Bruno Fernandes valued at 80 million euros. 70 million euros, which is about 60 million pounds, I think that's about right. But 80 million euros, which is 70 million pounds, I've never heard that until tonight. So I don't know what that's all about. Sporting Lisbon with a chance here. It's a corner. Sean Bull says, how's Bruno doing? Well, remember, it's not just Bruno watch what he does. It's also Bruno watch, and as I say, we're 10 minutes in, and he's not injured. So we've only got another 80 to go. That's the thing that I'm worried about. Jean Mati, he used to play for Valencia, didn't he? Plays for Sporting Lisbon now. Bruno was on the corner there, by the way. He did a short corner. Don't do that again. I've signed Alice. Liverpool signed Alisson when they needed him, signed Van Dijk when they needed him, and they were improved. That's a club with a vision. What about us? Says Common Man. Welcome to Aaron Sweeney, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Thank you to the contribution from Andy Davey. And Luca Cantarelli says, do you think Simon Stone would have tweeted that update himself if he was sure it was right? He could have just retweeted it to give the show views. Yeah, and I think Luca's right there. If Simon Stone knows something, then why isn't he tweeting it himself? And why is he retweeting something? He did that. Oh, good shot from Benfica, saved by the keeper. He did do that last week, but he was actually on that show. So why not tweet it himself? In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to call him out. I'll tweet out, everyone's melting down about and I'll tag him in the tweet as well. And I'll say if he was sure, he'd just tweet it himself. See what happens with that. See what happens with that. And they've hit the post. They've hit the post. Sporting Lisbon have just hit the post on the attack. Let me have a look. It's actually a ball from Bruno Fernandes. Watch that ball. What a pass by Bruno Fernandes that is. Oh God. Oh, did you see that pass? Oh, it's immense. From his own half. What a pass by Bruno Fernandes that is. From his own half. Curls it beyond the defender. That's one of the... If Pogba did that, you wouldn't shut up. Does Bruno remind you of Beckham with his passing to C. Rooney? Look, his passing ability is not something that I really... I mean, he's good at it, but it's not something that I really would say is his major attribute. I like the way he carries the ball. I like his shooting. I like the sort of 1-2s, and I like his tenacity. But what he's showing there is what a passer of the ball he is as well. I mean, that's one of the balls of the season, and we've only been watching him for 10 minutes. Stunning, absolutely stunning. Got to tweet that as well. No, we'll leave that one. But it was magic. If you're not watching, he's in his own half on the right hand side, and he pings this ball about 40 yards that curls beyond their centre back and puts the striker in 1-on-1. Chris Beer, thanks for the joining, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. The Members Club, if you don't know, it gives you a little badge when you're in the live comments, but it's just like a United Stand Members Club. It supports the channel, helps us do things like the tour and some of the things we've got planned. We've got a Dublin meetup coming, and we don't sell tickets anymore. We're not charging people to come to the meetups. You can just come. We're not going to charge for tickets or anything like that. So membership in that helps us to do that. But it was an absolutely superb pass from Bruno Fernandes, and really showed. Look, you can always say, well, the quality of the league's not the same as the Premier League, the speed's not the same as the Premier League, but somebody picking the ball up and passing it 40 yards, doesn't matter whether you're playing pub football or Premier League football, that's a football pitch, that's a pass. Brilliant, absolutely superb pass. So, pass of the game from Bruno already. If you're watching the game at the moment, he's just on the right-hand side, number 8. Give it him. Not bad. Give it to Bruno. That's what we're here for. Mark, I did read a report out of Portugal saying Bruno had a furious phone call with the president telling him to get the deal done or he won't play, says Chloe Jenkins. Yeah, I read that this morning. I think I read it on Eurosport or something like that, and they were quoting. And Nick P says, I'm sorry, but Darren Fletcher has no insight into our negotiation. He hosts a radio show and makes bold statements like 1,000 others, says Nick P. And Duncan Castle replied to the Simon Stoke tweet with one of his earlier ones, says Alex Williams. And Ashley Everson says, is the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Look, I'm not going to steer away from the Bruno Fernandes deal being done. I'm not going to steer away from that. And I think when we see at the end of the game how Bruno reacts will be very interesting as well. And at this moment in time, I think it's on. And I'll be bloody furious if it's not. But Sebastian United says that Sky Sports have tweeted. So let's have a look what they're doing. It's great, this, isn't it? It's an unorthodox show tonight. A lot of people just saying, what a pass from Bruno Fernandes, because it was. Here is Bruno. On ball, little 5-yard pass. I could have done that, really. Give it him. Give it to Bruno. He wants the ball. Just give it to. You know what? Have you ever played FIFA when you're playing as a player in FIFA? This is a bit like that tonight. I couldn't give a shit about any other Sporting Lisbon player. I just want the ball to go to Bruno all the time. It was clear Sporting was going to sell before the Benfica game. They got thrashed last time. You wouldn't sell your captain and best player before that game. He is class, though. Need players to help him, says Matthew. And Rami Sandhu says, I wonder if Bruno realises that all Man United fans are going into an absolute meltdown because of him. I will lose my mind if we don't sign him. That's from Ramit Sandhu. And Edward Walters says, I can't rely on the BBC 5 Live comments. That video has been up for over 2 hours and has been retweeted by Simon Stone. Sky Sports still haven't commented or backtracked on their comments. Yeah. I still think he's coming. Sky Sports, Dharmesh Seth says, footballing reasons are delaying this deal given Sporting's insistence that Fernandes plays in the match tonight. It seems now the necessary breakthroughs have been achieved and Fernandes could soon be a United player. So Sky versus BBC at the moment. We'll see what happens. And I've just been sent, Sky Sports tweeted out 33 minutes ago, and that BBC one is longer than that. So I'm happy that it's still going. We've got 17,800 people watching, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm in pyjama bottoms because I had a shower before, because I'm going to go into bed. I'm getting into bed after this and watching The Witcher, which is a very good series on Netflix. But I think any United fans watching this, aren't they? And we've been treated already. We've only had 20 minutes of this so far. We've been treated already to an absolutely superb pass by Bruno Fernandes. And what I like about him is he's shouting at his team a lot. We don't ever see that from United players. And I think that's something that would be underestimated if we did get Bruno Fernandes is, he's not going to be the captain, Harry Maguire is, but he'll bloody shout at his players because leaders are leaders. And he's very good at pressing and he's very good at organising. So I think very interesting. We'll be in Dublin from Panic to Paris at either the last Thursday of March or the first Thursday of March. Just got to sort the venue out at the moment. What's the TV channel, says Daniel? Free Sports Live, which is on channel 553 on Virgin. But if you go to their website, it tells you what channels it's on different things. Will you finally be Ollie out if we bottle this transfer from here? You're already Glazers out, as I am, but Ollie out if you bottle it. The straw that breaks the camel's back, says Ryan Locke. Well, it won't be Ollie's fault, will it? It won't be Ollie's fault, let's be honest. I enjoyed The Witcher. I'm enjoying The Witcher, the Batman channel. I am enjoying it. And I think if you think about Game of Thrones first season, it was good. It was quite good, but it got better and better. And I think The Witcher will as well. It's not for everybody. It's 0-0 at the moment. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, by the way. Lots and lots going on at the United stand. I hope you all watched the Andy Cole interview that Flex did. He was talking about Bruno as well. You can check it out after this as well. I mean, Andy Cole, he's a bloody legend. Legend of a player on the United stand. Brilliant interview. It's just that so much is going on at the moment. It's like we had to put the video up because, you know, we did the interview last night. But sort of getting swallowed up by all this Bruno talk, but brilliant interview. Ashley Everson says, Mark, if Bruno shows some gratitude to the Sporting fans after the game, it would show that the move is on, don't you think? I think we're waiting for that. There's 3 things I'm watching out for in this game, and Benfica have got a corner. 1, he doesn't get injured. That's still my priority because the deal's definitely off if that happened. 2, that he plays well and shows people who haven't watched him what a good player he would be for United. And 3, how he reacts at the final whistle. Oh, Benfica nearly scored from that corner. It's gone for another corner. Bruno is showing he can defend in the game too so far, says Levi Pegley. Mark, did you see that Bruno tackle? Wow, says Sandro Rodriguez. I was probably talking to you lot. But he is the whole package. You know, when the Sporting Lisbon manager said he's basically irreplaceable, we understand that he wants to go, and at some point he was always going to go. But here he is there, look. Very confident on the ball. Likes a tackle. Very good passing, very good shooting, can carry the ball. And the Sporting manager basically said, to replace Bruno Fernandes, I need to sign 3 players because he does 3 jobs: assists, goals, and work rate. I mean, he's just charged up the pitch there, 40 yards. He was in the right back position and he's the first person pressing. Very impressive player. Very impressive player. And I don't profess to have seen him every game for the last 2 years. I'd say I've probably watched him play 90 minutes 15 times. But he is, as you know, if you've been watching the United stand, this is my boy. This is my player. I think we all have a signing, don't we, that we hope somebody's going to buy. And I think anybody who's been watching the United stand for over a year will know that this is the player that I've been on about and I want us to get. And I know people are going to jump on the bandwagon, and I want them to jump on the bandwagon. I want him to come to the club, and I want him to be backed. And there may be an adjustment period, but I don't think there will be. I don't think there will be at all. But we've got to get the deal done. Vendel looks like Richard Pryor with that tash, says Don Ragnar. I know, right? He did remind me of somebody, and you're right. He does look a bit like Richard Pryor. Rest in peace. Oh, you know what? This. I don't know whether I was right to say this actually yesterday. Got a Tesco delivery, right? You know where they deliver it to your door. Got a Tesco delivery come yesterday afternoon, and wife was at work, kids were at school, so doorbell rings. I have to go and do it all myself, and I was emptying one of the trays that the delivery guys got, and he went, "Oh, you're going to go for another one?" And I did, because I can pick up a lot of things. And he went, "Oh, you've got hands like Gordon Banks." You know what I said? I said, "Hopefully not how they are now. Rest in peace." And his face was like a bit... But Gordon Banks is dead, isn't he? So I was just trying to make a bit of conversation, and I think I might have overstepped the mark. But I did say rest in peace. Like, you know, his hands aren't going to be very good now. If United don't get Bruno, my heart will be back to where it was a few weeks ago, says Chris Beer. I tell you what, though, I think Gordon Banks' save against Pele. Oh, that save has got to be the best save ever. When the cross is coming over his head, he's on the front post. Unbelievable save. Ed Woodward says we don't need him, we have Mata. Well, yeah. The scary thing about Manchester United is that and I was talking to somebody today, and you should all pat yourself on the back here. They were saying, and they're quite I can't say who it was, but they were saying, I watch a few United stand shows, and what surprises me is the knowledge of the people in the comments is unbelievable compared to what I know about football. So, you know, tap yourself on the back there. But what I've been told many times over the last few years is that you'd be scared at the knowledge in Manchester United Football Club. Like the people running that football club, and in various different departments, it is amateur. And I think that's what we see. It is. Imagine Pogba and Bruno in the same midfield, says Smashhurst. Imagine Pogba and Bruno in the same midfield with a decent CDM. It would be good to watch. I know we went through this all last year, but there's way too many reports on him coming to us for this not to happen, says Michael Gibbs. Yeah, as James Cooper said, who's from Sky, Their eggs are in one basket with this. Matthew O'Shea says, I've always wanted him even before the summer. It's Free Sports Channel 442 on Sky Sports. 442, very easy to remember. So if you're on Sky Sports, Free Sports Channel 442 to watch the game. If you're on Virgin, 553. And it's on other things as well, I just don't know where. A few people talking about Samari. There was a report earlier on, actually, about what's his name, Jude Bellingham at Birmingham for 25 million. I think it was Duncan Castles talking about that, and somebody said, "Oh, Goldbridge will go mad." I mean, look, Jude Bellingham is 16 years of age, and I would be over the moon if we signed him, because I live in the Birmingham area, and a lot of people talk about he's not ready yet. He's probably a year or two off being a really top Premier League player. But he's played over 30 games in the Championship. The Championship is one of the most competitive leagues in the world. And he's 16 years of age playing as a midfielder. I don't care if United pay 20 million for him. Birmingham need the money as well. So I think I'd be more than happy for United to sign him. He's not going to be ready for a while, but I would buy him and loan him back. I think it would be a brilliant deal to do. Oh. Bruno's down. Bruno is down. And there's a yellow card as well. Bruno's down. It looks like it's his nuts. No, he's alright. Gabriel has been booked. He's alright. It was a bang in the nuts. It's a bang in the nuts. Bruno pulled his shirt. It's just, to be honest, it was a harsh yellow card. Alex Mannon says, even if we sign Fernandes, we must still try and sign another midfielder before the end of January. We need more depth in that area desperately. We need it in the attack as well, don't we? We need more depth in the attack. Forgot my last super chat. My Barca money is going, says Ernest Ernesto Valverde. Sorry, pal. There are a few coming in. I'm trying to grab everything and read others. What type of midfielder is Bellingham, says Akil Kamal. Well, it's very hard to say about a 16-year-old, but basically, I haven't seen him play yet. I've only seen highlights of him, and I've spoken to people, and they've said he actually is a little bit like Gerrard in the way that he's quite skillful, he's very athletic, and he's obviously still got a lot of growing in him. But it's very difficult to say, oh, they're that. But Benfica on the attack here, and keeper's got it now. I'm not saying he's a better player, but I feel like Bruno will have a bigger and better impact than Pogba has had since joining United, says Corey Gower. I think you're right, Corey, actually. I think you're right, because it's a different mentality. It's a different mentality, isn't it? Bruno Fernandes has a different mentality. He's not Paul Pogba, media superstar, who was that at Juventus. Like, Bruno Fernandes, with all due respect, he ain't ever going to get many modelling jobs, is he? He's not particularly good looking. But I would like ugly players who are brilliant at football at United, because they're just going to focus on their football. So Bruno Fernandes will focus on his football. Mark, where in Dublin are you coming? What venue? As I just caught the end when you were talking about it as I went downstairs. By the way, love how the channel has gone to 630k subscribers, which is great. That's from Dub Guy Full. We don't know where we're having it in Dublin yet. I know where I'd like to have it. I'd like to have it in the Hairy Lemon or Sinnott's, but I don't think we'll be having it there. There are a couple of pubs that I used to drink in when I was younger, or Break for the Border. I'd love it to be there as well, but I don't think we'll get it there. It'd just be nostalgic for me to go back to Dublin and drink and have a meet up in the pubs I used to drink in. First time watching Bruno live, and I'm impressed so far. Who will be the new club captain at United? Also, can you check my YouTube channel? Cammy Aitken goalkeeping. And that's from Cammy Aitken. Check his channel out, everyone. Cammy Aitken goalkeeping. I'm glad people are watching Bruno for the first time and they're impressed by him. With regards to captaincy, it's going to be Harry Maguire, isn't it? Love the delay, says Jamie Milnes. When something happens with Bruno, my first thought is I can't wait for Mark's reaction. Yeah, well, apparently we've got a bit of a delay on this, but I am watching it on Virgin Media, so they've obviously got a bit of a delay themselves. People are saying Bruno's sexy and definitely bang him. Well, that's up to you. He hasn't been on the ball for a while. How's Bruno faring at the moment, says Wackas? Well, look, they're playing a team that's a lot better than them. I mean, Benfica are better than Sporting. When he gets on the ball, he's looked good. He's tenacious. He's good at pressing. He's played a brilliant ball a few minutes ago, but he's not really had a look in on goal yet. Phillips from Leeds would be awesome with Bruno, says Iguana, Tall Tickler. And Mark, do you think Bruno will say his goodbyes at full time, says One Love MUFC? As long as, first of all, let's just say, let's hope he stays fit. Mark, I was at the stadium when United first played against Ronaldo when he was playing for Sporting, says Zayn Miassi. How many people actually believe Zayn was at that stadium? I bet it's less than 1%. Imagine the uproar from the fans if Rudwood fails to sign Bruno, says Sam A. I don't know. I don't know whether there would be uproar, because I think the United stand community towards Bruno Fernandes might be a little bit different to the general Manchester United fan base. Somebody said, can you change the 500 to 600 on your green screen? No, because 500,000 subscribers is a little bit more of a... that was like a... 500,000 subscribers was a landmark, wasn't it? 600,000 is not. That won't get changed to 1 million now, if we get there. Have you got an update on Rashford's injury, says Alex Lipscomb? We'll probably get a bit of an update while we're live, actually, because the embargoed section of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference will be coming out at 10:30, so we'll be live at that point when it comes out. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But Ollie did say this morning that Rashford unlikely to play on Sunday. I actually think he will. I do think he will. Said says, what if Bruno's money comes from the next summer's budget? Well, it's very believable. And Zane says, I was there, jokes aside. You see, you're like the boy who cried wolf now, Zane. You've put so many jokes in there over the years, over the months, that people will not believe you now. Bruno's just got it on the edge of the box, blindly crosses it into the box. Nobody there. He's not happy with himself there. He's his own biggest critic, Bruno Fernandes. He's the sort of guy, if he burns the toast, he'll kick the toaster and just go out on a run angry. Sporting striker and wingers are trash, says Bovo. They're not that good, Sporting, to be honest. Bruno Fernandes is comfortably their best player. Pass it to Bruno. Pass it to Bruno. Yes, he's down the right-hand side. He's going to do well to keep that in, actually. And he has. It's a crap cross. Oh, Bruno, don't let me down. He had a bit of time to put that cross in, to be fair. He might be back on the ball here. Bruno's got it again. There's only one player up front. Goes past one. Still got it. He's getting lots of the ball now, Bruno. Switches the play. Lovely switch of the play as well. Sporting on the attack. Bruno's on the edge of the box. He hasn't got it at the moment. Back post, back post. Oh, good save. And Bruno wanted to head it, but it wasn't Bruno who headed it. And it was a save by the Benfica goalkeeper. I think Bruno would have scored that. It's a bit lowly, this Portuguese football. A lot of sliding around. Hope Bruno scores and reveals a t-shirt with your face on it, says Nix P. He's probably never heard of us, has he? Partey or Samari, and why, says Corey Gower. Because Samari... Goal! Offside. And I think it was Bruno who scored it. No, it wasn't Bruno. I thought I saw a yellow thing on his arm. It wasn't Bruno, and he's offside anyway. Disallowed goal. I would take Partey over Samari, because Partey actually can play the CDM role right away, and he's about the right age at 26. Samori could be a really good player in the future, but if I had the choice between Partey or Samori, I'd take the instant fix. Yeah. Offside for Sporting there. Yeah, Eric Bayes had his 2-year extension as well. RJS Gaming's just said that. So there is a bit of breaking news as well. Well, not breaking news. There is news to give us that Ashley Young has obviously completed his move. Good riddance. And you know what I would say about Ashley Young is this. I didn't do a video on it because I don't really have a lot to say about it. What is evident to me is that Ashley Young left for his own cause. It was better for him to go, which is fine. That's fine. It's selfish. It's fine. But what isn't in doubt is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't want him to go, and he is the Manchester United captain. So, look, I blame Ed Woodward, as per usual, because they've basically offered, Inter Milan offered Ashley Young a 2-year contract. Man United only offered him a 1-year contract. But we're halfway through a difficult season. He could have gone to Inter in the summer. He's halfway through a difficult season. He's club captain. Ollie wants him to stay, and he goes. That's fine. It's his choice. But don't tell me he hasn't let Ollie and the club down, or the fans who wanted him to stay. I mean, I didn't want him to stay. I wanted him to go. But he's looked after himself, Ashley Young, there. We're mid-season in a very difficult season. You're the captain of the club. You could have gone in the summer. Ollie wanted you to stay, and you've jumped ship to go to Inter Milan and look after yourself. That's fine. That's life. It's just the modern footballer, though. So that's my opinion on it. I don't wish Ashley Young all the best because I don't think he's actually been very loyal to Ollie, who give him the captaincy in the bloody first place. But I'm glad he's gone. Love your channel, Mark. Just wondered what your thoughts will be on the lineup against Liverpool with now that Rashford is injured, says Simon Tovey. I would hope we go with Greenwood, James and Martial, and we don't do something stupid like pick Jesse Lingard. Other news that Eric Bayes had his contract extended. It's a no-brainer for me. It's a no-brainer for me because otherwise he leaves in the summer. So you've got to extend it or let him go for nothing in the summer. So I agree with a lot of people on Twitter saying, you know, he's injury prone, it's stupid, but the choice was don't extend it and he goes for free in the summer, or extend it. So we were right to do that. Carvan Oppert 74 says, how many hours do you spend on this channel? You seem knackered sometimes. I imagine it's a lot of work keeping up with all the news and watch-alongs. It is. But, you know, in relation to this, it's not, you know, I will get tired because I've had a few beers and it's getting late. But I would have watched this game anyway, like many people would, so it's that simple. Mark, what's happening with Rojo? Is he not going to Sporting as part of the Fernandes deal, says Jordan Such. He doesn't want to go, Jordan. He doesn't want to go. And Zane says, I'm going to email you a photo of me meeting Ronaldo in the Algarve when he was playing for his country in the Algarve. Fine. And Chris Keeler, latest member of the United Stand Members Club with Ryan Eccles. United Spurs Sporting on the attack here. Bruno's down again. Sporting shoot, Sporting save. Mojo says 2 of Ashley Young's iconic moments. 2 curlers against Arsenal in the 8-2 win, and that challenge against Di Maria in the Champions League. I guess that's about it. He scored a cracking couple of goals against Watford, didn't he, a couple of years ago as well. Bruno's got up again as well. He's not injured. Do you think Fred could play CDM with Pogba and Bruno either side? If Fred could work on that position, could he be another Kante-style CDM? And that's from Jack Brown. I'd like to think he could be. Check Sky Sports News, Mark. News just come in. It says Aaron Ward. I can't because we're live, and I can't get Sky because my controller's in the other room. Darren Fletcher is a commentator, not a journalist, so I don't think it's anything to worry about unless Simon Stone confirms it, says Deck Roberts. Well, if you check my Twitter, at Mark Goldbridge, I've atted Simon Stone saying, if you have any information, you should tweet it and not retweet idiots who don't know anything. Bruno's alright, he's just saying it should be a foul. He's a very aggressive personality, I love it. Mark just emailed you the photos, says Amy Assey. I'm going to have to go and have a look at them in a minute. Photoshopped, I bet. Adil says he's new here, he absolutely loves the channel. If you are new, make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. I'm in my pyjamas today. It's a late one, we don't normally do watch-alongs, kicking off at 9:15. And Bruno's, look at him, he's furious there with that pass from his right back. He does get proper pissed off. He feels it. He's like me, reminds me. I think this is why I like Bruno Fernandes. he reminds me of me, and I think actually in his head, Bruno Fernandes is always trying to play up to my standard. But Benfica are in here, and it's a corner. Hi Mark, absolutely love the channel from Cape Town, says Lyle Hoskins. Any Laurent updates, Mark? Love the channel, says Kieran Bren. No, nothing more about Marcus Laurent from Atletico Madrid, other than that story in midweek, which I think came from Sky as well. I think Fred could play CDM, Jack. I would like to see him play CDM. I just don't know whether... Fred does give the ball away a lot, though. And that's what worries me about him in a CDM role. Gary Hayden, Mark, me and my kids love the United stand. Can't wait to see Bruno at Old Trafford. Hope the channel grows strength to strength. Yeah, Gary's just reminded me. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got transfer news shows, breaking news shows, previews, match reactions, fan cams, watch-alongs, call-ins, and if you didn't see the interview with Andy Cole exclusively on the United stand earlier, he was talking about Bruno Fernandes, Ollie, future transfers. Flex interviewed him last night. That's up on the channel as well. So lots going on. So make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. White Owl says Bruno is nasty. And he is. And that's what we need. You know, I know he's got to adjust, but he won't adjust that much. Camilio 10 says you're trying to convince yourself that Young did us wrong. I'm not, mate. I'm not trying to convince anything. I have my opinion and you have yours. And I think the sooner you get on the train of the United stand and understand that my opinion doesn't have to be your opinion. And if you disagree with me, then the channel's doing exactly what it's meant to do. Or if what I say gets you thinking, the channel's doing exactly what it's meant to do. 5 years we've been doing this, and 5 years have been saying that. You won't change my opinion, and I shouldn't change yours. It's a conversation. It's about opinion. My opinion of Ashley Young is I'm absolutely ecstatic he's gone. I can't tell you how happy I am that I won't see him in a United shirt again. I thought he was shit, and I'm happy he's gone. But I have a lower opinion of him even more now because I know for a fact that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did not want him to go. It's his club captain. He did not want him to go. He wanted him to help him out in a situation that is bleak. And Ashley Young has looked after himself. And that is his right. That is his right. I've got no problem with that, but I don't need to respect it. He has let those who wanted him to stay down. He could have gone to Inter in the summer. He could have seen the season out. He is the captain. He shied away from his responsibilities to go and look after himself at Inter Milan. And I don't respect him for that. Some people do. Some people are saying, great servant, fair play, you can't knock him, it's fine. Not me. I'm not in that frame of mind with it. It was clear that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted him to go. And Bruno Fernandes has been fouled again. He's getting fouled a lot here. Mark, the only positive is you guys bought him and not Spurs. I'm furious Arsenal is not buying anyone this January. Yankee owners should be deported to Canada and join Prince Harry and his wife, says Zayn Miassi. And Chloe Jenkins says many reports stating Sir Alex Ferguson had a meeting with Koulibaly to set up the summer move. And Dave, MUFC Whitehead, says Bruno deal close on Sky Sports, 42 million up front, 17 million add-ons. It's legit, mate. 26 minutes ago, just checked. Thanks for that, Dave. Bruno is getting fouled a lot, isn't he? But he doesn't get injured a lot, so that's the focus. But he is getting fouled a lot. Yeah, I have seen a lot of these Goldbridge memes on Twitter. It's basically pictures of me where people put lines like... I saw one of me earlier, actually. I wonder if I can get it up for you. I can, actually. I'll show you what I mean by these, because people will be like, what is a meme, Mark? What are you talking about? So I'm going to show you. We're having a very different type of show today. So this was on Twitter today. It's weird having me on the screen as well. So, announce Bruno or your nan's the next ingredient. So people are basically taking screenshots of me doing different things. Some of them off my Instagram, which you can follow me at GoldbridgeMark. some of me on my Twitter, at Mark Goldbridge. So they're taking pictures of me, and then they're putting this bit across the middle with lines. So what's that one? Announce Bruno or your nan's the next ingredient. So that's me cooking, basically. And somebody's added something like that to it. That must be off my Instagram. God, my hair looks crap there. I actually quite like my hair like that. Short at the sides with a bit longer on the top. Anyway, enough of me and my hairstyles. We are nearly at half time. We've got a minute to go to half time. It's 0-0. Sporting Lisbon here on the attack. Wants a free kick. And he's got it. It's not Bruno, though. Zane is just Piers Morgan, both. Mark, you look like a younger version of Gordon Ramsay, says Zane. But Zane, you're going to get some back. Zane is just Piers Morgan, both just tools, says Red Baron. When you're the best player in a squad, the opposition will try and stop you. Same happens when Pogba plays for us, says Gordon Murray, which I think is a really good observation. Liam Tim says, hi Mark from sunny Durban, South Africa. Totally agree with Young debacle. Glad he's gone. Love your show, mate, and your passion for the badge. Thanks, pal. Bruno Fernandes is on a free kick here and didn't take it. This is disappointing. I'm not really interested in anybody else taking free kicks, to be honest with you. And that is half time, I think. It is half time. And it's 0-0. I was going to stop the timer there, but there's no need. Interesting next 25 minutes, actually. In 25 minutes, it'll be 10:30 UK time, which means the embargoed section of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference this morning will come out. Sometimes there's good stuff, sometimes it's a load of shite. We'll see what happens in that. I don't know why. Does anybody actually know why Manchester United embargo half of their press conference? No, I don't think any other club does it, and I don't know why we do it. It always strikes me as a bit irrelevant and arrogant. I don't know why we have an embargoed section. I don't know why we traditionally started doing it. I'm pretty sure I remember it back from Sir Alex days. Also, after this game, if Bruno gets through it uninjured, it's going to be very interesting. Cameras will be on him, how he reacts. Young made a career choice, perfectly normal, says Camilio10. Yeah, and it's perfectly normal for fans to have an opinion on that career choice. Young made a selfish decision. I think it was selfish. I think he let the club down. Up yours, off you go. That's my opinion. It doesn't have to be yours. Welcome. Welcome. We need reduced enthusiasm for Bruno, says Rashford. He could be another Alexis Sanchez. And Canacho is so unlucky. Phil Jones should be club captain, says Dylan Watt-Brown. And City have got an embargo as well, says Colin Pollitt. Why? What? Does anybody actually watch the first bit of City's press conference for there to then be an embargo? Like, they haven't got any bloody fans. Mark, Sporting has produced players like Nani, Figo and Ronaldo, says Zayn Miassi. Jedson Martins as well. Confident we'll get Bruno, but how long till Ollie has him on the right wing, says Kill07. Well, yeah, how he gets used at Manchester United is the next step, isn't it? And he does super chats, Ted Williams. Where there's a BBC report. I'm having to keep an eye on Twitter as well as this game at the moment because there's a lot going on. Let's have a look. There's another one now. There's another one of them memes. Oh. Fiver, he isn't coming, says Ashley Bravo. I'll take that bet, Ashley. I'll take that £5 bet. I will definitely take that. I've got to get the positivity up around Bruno. Fabrizio Romano tweeted, I bet he bloody didn't. It's just that time of night now. People are going to start bantering in the live comments and taking some weird satisfaction. He hasn't retweeted anything. Let's have a look at the BBC. BBC. Do they actually have anything to... Do they actually have a football account, BBC? No. BBC Sport? No. Yeah. BBC Sport. Yeah, they have got an article 9 minutes ago. Manchester United move for Sporting Lisbon's Bruno Fernandes has hit a bit of a problem. Let's have a quick look. And yeah, they're just talking about the same thing. 7:22. According to Portuguese station TVI24, there is a £13 million discrepancy in the two clubs' expectations, with Manchester United offering £42 million up front, with various bonuses taking the deal up to £68 million. Sporting Lisbon want a guaranteed £55 to release the 25-year-old, who has reportedly agreed £130,000 a week deal with Manchester United already. So I wouldn't believe that, because they're just quoting a Portuguese thing. And the thing about BBC Sport is they do sometimes go with big headlines that then they're just aggregating stuff from elsewhere. Now that Bruno is in and Pogba might leave in the summer, what's your opinion on targets or strengthening areas? Greenwood in the right wing or new right winger, and CM and striker, says Anu Palyapan. Well, I'd agree with you all on that. I think we need a right winger. I think we need two midfielders. Yeah. Hi Mark, will the podcast be coming back at all? Missed them on my Spotify after they just stopped in November. You and Flex had great discussions, says Chizzy. We are looking to get it back. We're just swamped. We're only two people. And Engineer says Bruno is coming to warm the bench from Pereira. Love from Kenya. Thanks for the contribution. And let's have a look what people are saying. Boycott the club if we don't sign him, says Arch Stanton. And Thar Vullen, welcome, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Sally Devil Red 7 says that BBC Darren Fletcher says it's off. Sky Sports are saying that it is still very much on. BBC against Sky. I think somebody from BBC needs to come out and save their arse, really. Because Sky have been persistent about it all along, and BBC are throwing it up. But they'll just say, you know what BBC will do? They'll just say it's Darren Fletcher. It's Darren Fletcher. He doesn't, it's not us saying it. That's what they'll say. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I wonder how much Zane has spent on this channel, says Bright Olifinso. And Matthew McFadden, we haven't heard from him in a long, long time. He says that BB Source is a Champions League commentator saying stuff on a radio show. Would rather trust Sporting's actual director saying they're happy with the deal, Matthew McFadden. You see, you know that quote though, Matthew, about the Sporting director? I struggled to find where that came from other than Sky sources, but I never actually saw what the article was. All I saw was that guy talking, and he didn't really say sporting director, did he? So Bruno says Kyle Dwamu. And Jimbo Baggins says, Mark, can you recreate the gif if you used in your replay about the ship sinking? I tagged you and asked you you'll see it in the replies. I don't know what you mean, Jimbo. Not sure if you said this already. How would you rate Bruno's performance first half? Says Manu Fan 81. Sky and BBC reporting two different things. It looks like it will happen. People need to calm down, says Revan. Yeah, let's talk about Bruno Fernandes' first half. I thought the pass that he played was the best bit of the whole game. Benfica are clearly a better team than Sporting Lisbon, but I thought that the pass that he played to put in the striker from his own half was just electric. It was exquisite. It was excellent. That's three words beginning with E. I've achieved what I wanted to. I think he's shown, for those who haven't watched him before, he's shown he gets very angry and frustrated because he's a leader. He's shown that he's tenacious and he likes to tackle. He's shown he can take a tackle and he gets fouled a lot. He's shown that his passing is good. What we haven't seen is the things that people probably know that he's good at. His goals and assist rate is brilliant. but he's just not. He's not had a shot on goal. He's not had a chance to do that yet. So I think what we've seen in that first half from Bruno Fernandes is aspects to his game that should excite people, because it's probably not the aspect of the game that you were aware of. He's not had any shots or assists, but he's shown that he can definitely play midfield. He can definitely play box to box. I want to see him in the 4-2-3-1 in the Lingard or Mata or Pereira position, but he can definitely defend from that position. I think he could do box for box as well. I hope Bruno scores an amazing goal now, says Kyle Sutton. I mean, to be honest with you, I've never really thought about it like that, but I mean, if the deal's done, I hope he scores a hat-trick. If the deal's not done, I'd rather he just didn't score and just had an okay performance. It is on Sky. It's on channel 442 if you want to watch this. Somebody's doing a career mode with Wolves. If you want to give him some tips on who to buy. Any chance of them blocking me at Gixardan? Not sure I was blocked. Was a long time ago. Sent a super chat in past. You said DM you, but they closed, says Daniel Brereton. Oh, should we just be nice? And who do you want to be unblocked from there? Because I don't run the United Stand account, so I can check if you're blocked on mine. If you're blocked on the United Stand, it's bad luck. At Gixardan. Is there a question mark on the end of it? Is that allowed? Found you, Gixadan. You were blocked. You've been unblocked. You've been unblocked by me. You were blocked by me. You must have been bad to get blocked by me on Twitter. That's all I can say. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, by the way. It's half time at the moment in this Bruno Fernandes watch. And we've had quite a very interesting... It's channel 422 on Sky, by the way. We've had quite an interesting first half debating whether BBC's reports that the deal might be off or Sky's reports that the deal is on, and both being tweeted out and fed out at the same time. I still think it's on. And I think we're going to learn something at the end of this game. Mark, when you play Arsenal, Torreira will have Bruno in his pocket, as I'm sure Arteta will have studied Bruno being Pep A's student, says Amy Assey. Yeah, because Torreira's had loads of people in his pocket, hasn't he? He walks around with like baggy jeans because he's got so many people in his pocket over the last year. Because Pereira's not really a Poundland Kante, is he? Mark, imagine United getting Sean Longstaff. I've imagined it. It's a nightmare. I wake up with the sweats. Would you swap Shaw and Cash for Chilwell, or let Williams get more games as Shaw is injury prone, says Paul Lee? I do think we need a sustainable, consistent backup. We need two left backs, basically, is what I was going to say. That's what we need to do. And I don't know that Luke Shaw is looking good to do that, because unfortunately I'm a fan of Luke Shaw, but his fitness rate is a concern, and I always feared that would be a problem when you have a big injury like he's had, and I think that has been the problem with Luke Shaw. Josh Waring says, Mark, I'm not sure if we're going to give you enough props for your Pogba prediction with the Euros this summer. Best case scenario, him and Bruno develop a brilliant partnership with our front three and he is inspired to stay. I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility that that Paul Pogba could stay at Manchester United, but I just think that he wants to go, and I do understand why he does want to go, and I think we need to accept that. Right, it's half time. I'm just going to have a quick wee. Reaction after the game to the fans will say it all, says Simon Cooper. I agree. Chat amongst yourselves. It'll only be a minute or two. It's half time. I've had 2 beers. I need to, alleviate. The road is long with a many ways in turn that leads us to who? I tell you what, I'm going to say that 16,000 people of you are fantastic. Like, we've lost 1,000 viewers because I went for a wee. Like, I'm going to go for a wee. I will be back in a minute. Oh, I can't wait. I couldn't possibly wait for a minute. I must stop watching and turn the stream off. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But look, we're back now. We're back up and running. And I actually hope then people don't come back. They don't deserve my eye. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve to be being watched. It's 4 a.m. in India, says Rajari. Maybe people have gotten to bed. You might be right with that. You might be right with that. Couple of super chats to read here from thoughts on Jared Bowen. Already a great goal scoring winger with the potential to get better. Keep up the great work, says Darren O'Riordan. I wouldn't be taking him at United. And able to put my memes of you. Able to put up my memes of you, lad. Slabhead United just replied to your most recent tweet. Cheers. # keep Bruno safe. Well, I could only put that one up before because I was it was saved on my desktop. So I don't think I'll be able to do that while I'm live. Sadiq Rahman, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. And there are reports, says Nakul Shukla, take it with a pinch of salt, that we have made a £25 million actual bid for a 16-year-old from Birmingham. Left field, this one. Yeah, Nakul, we spoke about that in the first half. His name is Jude Bellingham. He's 16 years of age. He's played over 30 times in the Championship for Birmingham. I would be very happy if we signed him. He's one for the future. He's not going to go straight into the team now. Totally not that sort of signing. But I think anybody who's playing at 16 in the Championship like that has the potential to be real star quality when he grows up a little bit more. So we'll see. Bruno Fernandes about to come out for the second half. I don't think he looks like... You can't read anything into that. It's half time, but he's coming out second half. Do I prefer Maddison or Bruno, says James Delaney. What a very good question, because I've answered it so many times. Bruno. Sadiq Rahman, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Don't know whether we shouted that all out already. He ain't heavy. He's my brother, Jeremy Johnson. Hollies. I think if BBC had any proper info, then there'd be a story on their website. Right now, it sounds like they're just regurgitating other sources, says Luca Cantarelli. And I pretty much remember this being said in the summer with Wan-Bissaka. I'm pretty sure the BBC did the same sort of thing. They said it's far from complete, and then it was completed. What's your reaction to Football Terrace slander video, says James Murphy? Well, it wasn't really slander, was it? It was just a little bit clickbaity to make you think it was going to be slander, and then actually it was backing us. So I've got no interest in anything like that. I don't even want to comment on any of it. I just think at the end of the day, if people don't want to watch your content, they don't want to watch your content. If they do, they do. Just live and let live. Or live and let die, as James Bond once starred in. What do you think about the Benfica left-back Grimaldo, says Mohamed Nazim? I mean, I think Arsenal are linked to him. I mean, it's very difficult. Look, I would say this. You know, as much as I think Bruno Fernandes will be a fantastic signing for United if and when they get it done, I've got to also say it's very difficult to... You know, it's very hard to say a player that plays in the Portuguese league is going to be good in the Premier League, and it's not always transferable. Some succeed, some don't. I think Bruno Fernandes and the style of footballer he is will fit the Premier League very, very well, but it's not transferable to every player. You don't read out my super chats anymore, Mark. Why do you hurt me, says Murray? I'm sorry if I've missed them, Murray. We're getting a lot tonight. It's a very busy show. I look. I'm not like the true Geordie. I've been on that show, and their super chats are flashing up all the time, and they read about 1 out of every 50 by the looks of it. I try to read them all. Some will slip through the nets, and I have to give you that disclaimer, but I do try to read them all. The match is not over, David Hernan. It is half time. In fact, in 7 minutes, we are going to get the embargoed section comments from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer from his interview this morning, which is going to be so exciting, isn't it? No, there'll probably be nothing in there, to be honest. Second half is about to kick off anyway. And it's Bruno to kick it off. Taking control. Raina Khan says that Bruno will join tomorrow. Well, there was a rumour going around earlier tonight that we were going to announce the deal straight after. I mean, why would you announce Bruno Fernandes signing as for United at 11 o'clock at night? So I don't think that will happen. Tomorrow, United do sometimes do this whole shirt number thing, so it could be announced tomorrow. 18 is free at the moment. So yeah, I think tomorrow I would be very happy if it was announced tomorrow. What I don't want to happen is I don't want it to be announced after the Liverpool game, because I think that if we lose to Liverpool, and hopefully we won't, it'll be used as an excuse. As people are chucking flares on the bloody pitch here. Twats. We just want to play a bloody game of football. Stop chucking flares on the pitch. Thomas Hernan says, are you doing any watch-alongs tomorrow on That's Football? Yeah, I'm doing Watford Spurs, 12:30, and I might stay on at 3 and do the 3 o'clock kickoffs, because Sheffield United Arsenal, I might watch that. Mark, don't you think that Bruno would just get swamped like Pogba's done and Fred recently? I also think Martial will thrive with Bruno behind him, says Jake Pennington. Well, he might get swamped, but what you need to do is, Paul Pogba used to get swamped, didn't he? Because there's not enough good players there. What United need to do is they need to buy more players who have got quality. Because if you look at City, you can't swamp De Bruyne, Silva, Sterling, Sane, Aguero. You can't swamp them all. So that's what you need to do. You need to provide balance in your team. So if you've got 6 good forwards, well, you can't swamp all 6. They're going to have to go man to man, which creates the space. If you've only got... I mean, this game's getting bloody ridiculous now. We might be here till bloody midnight. They are chucking flares on the pitch. Loads of them. Could get called off this. Mark, who do you think will win the Labour leadership race, and do you think Brexit will affect football transfers, says Zane Miasic? I don't do politics, Zane. Even for a 99 quid. I don't know where Zane gets the money from. He shouldn't be doing contributions like that. But ultimately, this game is getting frustrating as a watch-along because they're chucking flares on the pitch, and the referee might just have to take them off the pitch at the moment. Maybe they're doing it because they don't want Bruno to go. I don't know. Ultras, says James. On Sky versus BBC, there are far too many details coming out for it not to be happening, says Nekil Shukla. When I hear details of bonus and salary, then it's got substance. Yeah, I to be honest, there is these contrasting news stories tonight about BBC saying it's not close, Sky saying it is close. I mean, basically, BBC's source seems to be Portuguese TV and Darren Fletcher, who's a commentator. You know, I even did the face there. To be honest, I haven't bothered asking the person who told me that we were signing him last summer for anything this week. I think I last spoke to them on Saturday, and I haven't spoke to them since about that, because I think there's been so much in the media that you don't really need to have an a bit of inside information. So I think that I would agree. I think that it's looking very, very good for Manchester United to sign Bruno Fernandes. There's so many bloody flares being thrown on the pitch and fireworks at the moment. I think bloody Katy Perry's going to come out in a minute. Bruno is a clever player and a player who's desperate to win. We don't have anything close to him in our squad, says Matt Rush. And any plans for Ireland this year, Mark, says Eburn. Yep, hoping to come over end of March. Just need to sort a location out. and then we'll start advertising it. Bruno is a clever player and a player who's desperate to win. We don't have anything close to him in our squad, says Matt Rush. There's a bit of an echo. But yeah, I don't think BBC have come out of it in any great way so far that I would want to believe them. And I think that the deal will get done for United. Yeah. I haven't even kicked the second half off yet. It's going to be a late night tonight, by the looks of it. Lee Chapman says, Mark, if Zayn Miassi used all the money he donates, we would have bought Bruno Fernandes in the summer. If he used all his money towards the club that he supports, which is Arsenal, they might be able to buy a player in this January transfer window. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very, very welcome. I hope you're enjoying the stream. We've got a fantastic community. We're live every night at 8 o'clock with fan cams after the game. We've got call-ins, we've got match reactions, transfer news, previews, all sorts of stuff. So get involved. I can't see this game getting on anytime soon. Thoughts on Maguire captaincy, mates, says Sean Sunderland. I did speak about it this morning on the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference reaction, but my thoughts on it are that I think it's the right choice, but it's a little bit embarrassing because a player having to be captain when he's not really even adjusted to the role yet is a little bit embarrassing. It just shows how we lack leaders. But I tell you what, Bruno Fernandes is a leader, so he won't get the captaincy obviously if he does come. But he's a decent player. He's just given the ball away there though. Fights to get it back, gets it back, and he has a shot from distance. No, it wasn't him. Yeah, it was him. Mark, it's a bit smoky. Would you rather sign Bruno or beat Liverpool? Says Hail Cesar. I'd sign Bruno because the problems that we've seen at Manchester United over the last 5 months are consistent problems. We can beat teams in the top six. We've shown we can do that over the last 5 months, but we're not going to become a better club without signing better players. Zane, honestly, where do you get all these money from? Says Bright Alfonso. And we've got a couple of new members. Carvan Upper 74, welcome pal. And Liam Tim is also a member of the United Stand Members Club. Remember, you can do that by clicking the join button, and you get a little members badge next to your name when you're commentating, and that badge changes for every month that you're a member, by the way. Biggie third, spot on Mark. Some people think one man will solve all our issues and are overvaluing this signing. Step in the right direction, but a long way to go. And Brian Murphy, Mark, my wife hates me always watching the stand. Give her a telling off. Brian Murphy, if I had £1 for every bloke I've spoken to about the United Stand who says my wife hates watching your channel, I'd have about £19. I have heard it a lot. I'd say just chill. Go and watch Love Island or repeats of the MasterChef or EastEnders or Coronation Street. I don't want to be exclusive to different types of show, but there must be something you like. Let him watch his football, for God's sake. Equality. Nazza says, anyone else in high school? I would say if you're in high school now, mate, it's 11 o'clock at night nearly. You need to go home. Brent Ericsson will see this but ignore it. I just think it's a stupid comment, Eric. I'm not going to... I don't mind people doing it. I just don't draw attention to it because I just think it feeds trolls. Hi, Mark. Love the show. Just wondering who you think would work well with Fernandes to get the most out of him, says Craig Thomas Miller. People who can play the ball quickly into his feet. He's just been fouled again there. Thanks for the contribution, Connor O'Farrell. How is Bruno playing tonight, says Connor. He's doing all right. I mean, he gets fouled a lot. He actually statistically does get fouled a lot. It's not just this game. And he doesn't actually get injured that often. He's on this free kick as well. He's more right-footed, but he can use his left. I don't actually think he'll take this free kick anyway. It's quite far out. And he didn't take it again. And another... Well, they wouldn't header. Straight at the goalkeeper. Jonathan Avalos, will you ever come to LA, or will you ever think about expanding the United stand? Well, I think the Manchester United tour will be in in America this summer, so I don't know where we'll end up playing, but I'm sure we'll do both coasts. We did the tour last year, so the United stand will be on tour this year. So if you want to meet us and that, we do all the meetups and stuff. It's good. Sati Singh, I think Manchester United will sign a striker in the summer, definitely. I mean, Ollie said that this morning, which reminds me, I need to... Craig Thomas Miller, we've read that one. I do need to just check, actually, because the embargoed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer comments will be coming out now. I bet they're all crap tonight. You want them to be good and they'll be crap. Yeah, we really want to sign up Bruno. I'm desperate. But Ed won't let me say it until it's after the embargo. Sander says Bruno looks like a shit house. Can't see anything here about anything. Wonder if old Cy Stoney is going to tweet anything, because he was at the press conference this morning. No, he's just retweeted about that. Sort it out, Cy. See if there's anything on here. There is something here from ESPN saying that United are working with experts on how to deal with the negative impacts of social media on the players. Senior figures are increasingly concerned by the potential psychological strain caused by the hostility and criticism on Twitter and Instagram. Oh, I mean, to be honest with you, you know, as somebody who is very aware of mental health and things like that, and I've, you know, been open about that on my channel, they want to see the bloody world of crap I get on social media. I've had all sorts of things said about me. Does it stop me doing what I'm doing? And they're on like hundreds of thousands of pounds a month. Like, you're in an entertainment business. You're going to get criticised. You know, you're going to get criticised. I'm sorry. And especially if you're a United player and you're not performing. Let's say we sign Bruno. What are your biggest concerns in terms of making him an integral part of the team? Just the rest of the players, really. Yeah, I think he'll integrate all right. Zane says, Obama what? Obama what? Who? Obama blood clot Yang. London is red and Spurs are a pub team with no history. I don't think we get many Spurs people watching, Zane, to be honest with you. And David Hernan says, we would have a great midfield if Pogba decides to play well and Bruno joins and Scott Tomini gets rid of his injury. It would be interesting, midfield three. Carven Upper says, do you think Mata is underrated? Although he may be slow, he is a player that knows how to read the game and knows how to pass the ball, and that is what United need. You know what I can just say on one Mata here? What a bunch of flip-flops all these people are who are backing Mata. Like, where have you been for the last 18 months? He started the season before last with Mourinho against Leicester and was shit. The next game after that, I think it was it Burnley away or something like that? No, it wasn't Burnley. It was Brighton away. He was shit in that. He's been absolutely crap for 18 months. He had a good game against Norwich and scored a good goal against Wolves. And suddenly people are like, oh, Matt is so underrated. He's done. He is not a player that you can build a team around, ever. So, no. And Bruno Fernandes has gone down badly here. Yellow card. At what price point would you walk away from Bruno? Ronald? Oh, God, to tell you what, that could have been a lot worse than it is. Thankfully, he doesn't actually catch his leg that much. Oh, God. Why is everyone saying Young has signed a 2-year deal? It's still till June 2020 with an option to extend on an extra year, says Jamie Milnes. Well, it's a bit of spray for Bruno. He looks like he's alright. Bloody hell. It's always Bruno, isn't it? Your take on Maguire over David De Gea for captaincy, Kartik Srenvasan. Well, David De Gea had the captaincy took off him because he did that interview in August, quite critical of the team. And the rumour is that the United board didn't like that, so he's never been captain again. Even though Roy Keane used to do that every week. Do you think Ollie can turn Bruno into the player we want at United, or will it take a new manager? Thinking of Ollie's lack of tactics and reactions to games. That's from Jason Bedward. Well, Ollie's job will be easier with better players, so I would imagine there'll be an improvement. It's just whether that improvement is because it's better players or whether that improvement is because of better coaching. Xander had me in stitches when he was in the phone box and said, "Don't worry, Mark, I won't tell anyone about your Phil Jones shirt." More of that, says Red Baron. Yeah, Xander will be back with his Xander on the streets next week. He's just had a couple of weeks off for Christmas. Too long for a student, to be honest with you. He needs to get back to bloody work. The tackles on Bruno are ridiculous, says Mazamel Master. Yeah, I agree, mate. A corner here for Sporting. Not really seeing Bruno on set pieces a lot today. They've gone with the left-footed player a lot more. Matter agenda confirmed, says Superstar Wills. It's not an agenda, mate. It's evidence. He's been crap for 18 months. He's had 2 good games and everyone thinks that he's a decent player. I would have got rid of him in the summer for free. He's on £160,000 a week. Do you think he's worth £160,000 a week to stat pad against Norwich? No, I don't rate Juan Mata as a player that you can build a team around. I think he's a player that you've got to play in certain games because you need to use your squad, but I don't think he's a decent option for United at all. Mark, I must listen. The Peter Crouch podcast, says Jordan Ellestrange. Not a fan. Jordan Such, do you think Ed and the Glazers are hoping Bruno gets injured so it gives them an excuse not to pay up? I've never thought of it like that, Jordan, actually. I've never thought of it like that. They might be. Oh, no, we can't spend the money anymore. We'll have to stick with what we've got and keep the money in the bank. What a shame, Ed. Yeah, what a shame. Let me see if we've got... There doesn't seem to be anything coming out from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in his embargoed section, actually. So clearly nothing great happening. But Sporting have won a corner here. Nothing to do with Bruno. Let me just contribute a small amount to point out how well considered, critical but fairly Flex spoke about United on Sky's transfer show. Get Bruno Fernandes in, says Delicate Official. Thank you for the contribution. Cross coming in here. I think Sporting have been the better team second half. Another shot. Oh, I thought that was going in. Tipped over the bar. Wasn't Bruno who shot, by the way. I should always quantify that. Another corner. Bruno with it. Beats the first man. Oh, straight at the keeper again. What is it about Portuguese football or every shot goes straight at the keeper? Another one straight at the keeper. But a good cross from Bruno Fernandes on that. Beating the first man is always important. Reminds me of a sort of James Maddison style corner that was. Good technique. So we've still got quite a way to go in this game because there was a load of fireworks at the start going on the pitch. So it will get it put back, if you know what I mean. Manu says, "Hi Mark, quick question. With the reports from Sky about Samari, does that mean Lille has accepted offers from United and Chelsea and then it's just up to Samari to choose?" But Bakary Samari is a player that Manchester United and Chelsea are apparently close to signing. This is from Sky Sports yesterday. I did a video on it. He won't move before Lille have played PSG, which I think is on January the 25th or the 26th. So apparently he's leaning a little bit towards Chelsea. I don't know that United are in for him, to be honest. I don't know. I'd like us to be in for him, but I don't know that we're in for him. But apparently he will move before the January transfer window is out. Although Get French Football News said a couple of days ago that he's happy to stay and doesn't want to move. So I think look, let's just get the Bruno deal done. Then we can start to think about others after a couple of days rest. Jay Fletch says, Mark, I effing love you. Thank you. Love you all too. I really do. I really appreciate everybody. And not because we're now a big, massive channel. Nothing to do with that. I'm not that sort of person. I'm not vain at all. I'm just very proud of the community that we've built, because I remember 5 years ago doing one show a week on a Sunday with 20 people watching, and what this community's grown into. I just think it's fantastic. And cross comes in. Oh, nearly found its way to Bruno. It's fantastic, and I think it just shows what you can build as a community. Maybe Bruno wants to come to United so he doesn't have to deal with flares on the pitch, says Joel Morris. It must be irritating, actually. Get it to Bruno. Good running here. Really good running. He's into the box. He needs some help. It's not Bruno. It's not on Bruno's side of the pitch. But Sporting have definitely been the better team in this second half. I sense a goal is coming. And it's another corner, and Bruno's going to take it. A few people are claiming I'm a drug lord. If I was Prime Minister, I would introduce capital punishment for the most dangerous drugs that are lethal, says Zayn Miassi. There you go. I think Zayn wants to be Prime Minister, by the way. He's very political. He's already spoken about the Labour leadership. He's pro-Brexit, I think. Another decent cross. Well, it didn't have a lot of pace on it, but it was well delivered with good height, which is what we want to see. Simon Stones tweeted. Well, I might have just fell into a trap here. Let's have a look. Yeah, nothing to do with this. He's done it about Pep. Unless they sack me, 100% I will be here next season. So that's Pep at Man City next season is quite surprising, actually. Sky are contradicting. They say we've put all the eggs in one basket with Bruno and no other negotiations, and then they say Samari picking between us and Chelsea. Truly hope we go for another midfielder, says Nick J. The thing about Sky Sports, though, is they're not just one. It's like BBC as well. They're not just one thing. Like, there are a lot of different journalists who, one story, it's under the Sky banner, but they're not always accurate. Charles Crane says, I'm a little bit behind today. I've seen conflicting reports around Bruno. Has a fee been agreed, or are we scared off by 65 million, which would be ridiculous? I think everybody's probably a little bit confused tonight. BBC have sort of put this Radio 5 Live from Darren Fletcher thing saying the deal's miles off and Bruno Fernandes will be back training with Sporting on Monday. But then there is a lot of people thinking he could be at the Liverpool game watching it. He can't play against Liverpool, by the way. I think, hopefully, if you've been watching our videos recently, you'll know he can't play because the noon deadline was today. But, I think we'll get a good indication at full time of this game and how Bruno Fernandes reacts. Because remember, there was that talk around early afternoon that the sporting director was happy with the fee and this was going to be his chance to say goodbye to the fans. So at the end of this game, it's going to be very interesting. Genghis9 says, I've got a theory for you. Young Downing Tools doesn't make sense to me. Maybe United told him we're giving number 18 to Bruno and he will be announced tomorrow. That's a theory. That's a theory. That is a theory. Genghis, I'm just going to nick it and tweet it. I'm going to be honest, and we'll just see what people think about it in the live comments and on Twitter. Well, a little bit of something going on here, but nothing much. I'd still say there's about 25 minutes to go in this game. Feels like one of the longest games I've watched. It's a bit like watching American football, isn't it? The game kicked off at 9:15. It should have been over by about 11 o'clock, but we're going to be well past that. Hope you're all able to stay up. Jake Pennington says, who'd have thought 5 years down the line you would have a member of the United stand on Sky Sports News? Amazing work, says Jake Pennington. And Amar Taki says, hi Mark, I'm so scared I don't want to be a flop like Di Maria. I think he'll be a flop. What do you think? What, Bruno? You're talking to the wrong person if you want some scepticism and negativity around Bruno. God no, I think he's going to be brilliant. I mean, can't wait for Bruno. He'll be the next goal, says Archers 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I mean that's where Vitali says, I hate Darren Fletcher. Hated him as a player and I hate him as a commentator. They are actually two different people, by the way. Darren Fletcher's Scottish, the ex-footballer for United, and this Darren Fletcher talking out his arse is English. But no, I think Bruno Fernandes will be a success. That's no surprise if you've been watching this channel. I've been on about him for over a year now, and this is my dream signing. Really, in the midfield, this is my dream signing. This is if anybody said, well, I've been saying it. We're going to miss not signing Bruno Fernandes every week of this season. I didn't think we would sign him in January. I'm very, very surprised if we get the deal done. I'm massively, happily surprised. So, yeah, it will be very interesting to see. If he does come, I just can't wait. I think we'll see. I mean, look, he could be playing in our midfield against Burnley. I mean, he's on the ball here. Lovely little ball there. Takes out 3 Benfica players. Sporting on the attack. Bruno's not really near the attack at the moment. He might be in a minute. And Benfica have won it back there. All right, Mark. With Bruno looking likely... Who's that? With Bruno looking likely in January, who would you target in the summer window, says Jimmy95? Well, it's a bit like saying who will be the next Manchester United manager. I don't really want to talk about future signings until we've got this signing done. This is the signing that's most important. And I don't want to talk about future managers of Manchester United because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the manager at the moment. And I know the club don't want to get rid of him. But what I would say is if we do sign Bruno Fernandes, there has to be a plan beyond that. It can't be this is a fan servicing signing that'll keep you quiet for 2 years. We need a lot more than just Bruno Fernandes. It's a start, but there has to be more. I would say we need a top quality CDM, of which there isn't actually that many available. So we need to solve that solution. I'm not convinced McTominay is a CDM. I don't think he's got the mobility to be the sort of CDM that we need him to be. I think McTominay's got an important future at United, but I don't think he's a CDM. So Matic can't do that role. I don't think Fred can do it. So we need somebody who can play that role, which is why I was quite intrigued by Samari, because he does play there. He's got a lot to learn, but he does play there. So, yeah, we need a CDM. We need a right-sided player of real quality. Now, whether that can be a Sancho, I don't know, but we need a player like that. I'm not convinced that we need Koulibaly. I find that odd. If you listen to Andy Cole with his interview with Flex, which went up at 6 o'clock tonight on the channel, he spoke very well about the Koulibaly situation, and I totally agree with that. So, yeah, I think we need 2 midfielders and a right winger and a striker. And I say 2 midfielders, I don't include Bruno Fernandes in that, because if Pogba goes, we should have signed Bruno Fernandes when we had Pogba anyway. So Bruno Fernandes cannot be the Pogba replacement. If Pogba goes, we need another 2 midfielders after Bruno. Adam Koskin says, hi Mark, love your content, but why do you constantly talk about Bruno like he's amazing? If he was good enough, everyone would be after him. But that's not true, is it? How many people were after Salah from Roma? How many people were after Mane from Southampton? I'm sorry, Adam. Thanks for the contribution, and I respect your opinion. But my response to your opinion is that I don't think that, how many people were in for Bernardo Silva from Monaco? How many people wanted De Bruyne from Wolfsburg? That's not how it works. Sometimes it does, but it doesn't necessarily mean a player's bad just because loads of people aren't in for him. Look at Wan-Bissaka in the summer. How many people were in for Wan-Bissaka? Only us. We negotiated that deal for 6 weeks. Nobody swooped in and took him. Nobody wanted him for 50 million. And also, to use the Wan-Bissaka example, because I think there is big parallels between the way the Wan-Bissaka deal played out and the way Bruno Fernandes is, where we're getting contradicting stories from the media. Some are saying we're miles off, some are saying we're close. But also with Wan-Bissaka, a lot of people didn't go in for Wan-Bissaka because they didn't need him. Liverpool didn't need a right back. Man City went for Cancelo. They could have gone in for Wan-Bissaka. They chose not to. Arsenal didn't really have the money. Spurs didn't really have the money. Chelsea didn't want a right back. So it's about who wants what. Who Who needs a player like Bruno Fernandes? Do Liverpool need a player like that at this moment in time? No. Do Man City? No. Do Chelsea? No. Do Arsenal when they're using Ozil? No, and they won't have the money anyway. So it's all about timing, and not many people are looking for that sort of player at the moment. Sanderberg, check him out as a CDM. He's Norwegian, says Brian Amika. Sean Turner, I've only just joined this chat, so I don't know if anyone has mentioned him, but I quite like the look of Sporting's winger Camacho. What do you think? Says Sean Turner. It looks all right. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't say, maybe you were just what you want in the summer, but I would be looking for something a little bit more high profile than that, to be honest. I would like us to go for Jadon Sancho, but we're going to need Premier League football, Champions League football. Get Ndidi in the summer and get Grealish because he'll be cheap because they'll get relegated, says McNally145. Ndidi's the one player I would want from Leicester, especially if we get Bruno. Maddison's not that important. Although I think if Pogba goes, go and get Maddison or Grealish and they can, replace Pogba and a CDM. Mark, my other account is a member, but it won't let me talk on the chat. I didn't notify you either. Did I do something wrong? Says Nixon Geddes. I'm not aware, Nixon. Not aware of anything. Not going to happen, but I'd like Saul Niguez and Donny van der Beek in addition to Bruno, says Rupin. And the Eagles stream says, with Bruno coming in soon, how many goals and assists do you think he'll bring with him? Love the shows. Lots of love from Ireland. Well, I'll give you a spoiler because I have got a video lined up for when he signs, which is about where he plays, what he can do, comparisons, etc. A deep dive into what Bruno is. But I'll say this to you. I think if we sign Bruno Fernandes, he will get 10. He will get a combined 10 of either goals and assists. So he will do 10 things. Goals and assists, like 7 assists, 3 goals, 8 goals, 2 assists, 10. He'll hit double figures for goals and assists in the 3 months that he's here. He's on the break here, Bruno, down the right hand side. Gets tackled. Showed some good. See, he's quick though as well. He's not slow, is he? And he's not Rashford quick, but he is quick. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Get involved with the United Stand community. We've got some meetups coming this year. Obviously, we'll be on tour in America if you're over there. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got the fan cams at the ground. We've got the match reactions, the watch-alongs when there's a game. We go live before a game and all the way through it. We got previews, transfer news, call-ins, loads of stuff. Get involved. United Stand. Subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Ewan Hacking says, Mark, there's going to be a 90th minute Premier League, 90th minute goal. Zane says, I would have offered 30 million plus Ozil for Fernando. He's a lazy player and overrated. Yeah, but Ozil seems to be back in favour, doesn't he, at Arsenal? And I think that's great as a non-Arsenal fan because I don't rate Ozil. Animish Ranjan says, is Bruno a better 8 or 10? I like him as an 8, especially in a game like this where they're not getting to attack much because he's more involved in the game. But I think if you were attacking a lot, you'd want him in the number 10 position. If you're going to be, if you're playing against someone like Man City where you're not going to have a lot of the ball, then Bruno's better in an 8. But if you're playing a team where you expect to attack a lot, I'd like him in a 10 because that's where he can cause the most damage. Are you coming to Scotland for a meetup? Says Cammy Aitken. I don't know that the United Stand's massively popular in Scotland, to be honest with you. I do notice that there's a lot of Irish people in there, but I don't know about Manchester United supporting Scotland. United have got big history in relation to United, in relation to Ireland. Mark, has Bruno had a strong match? Says Lachlan Oberg. He's done all right. I mean, look, I don't think he's, I wouldn't say he's been brilliant, but I don't think anybody on the pitch has. I mean, it's a typical derby, isn't it? It's hard to stand out in a derby because everybody's at it. Benfica on the attack. Aaron O'Neill says, who do you think would be a good signing for us in the CDM? Well, I think Ndidi would be my number one choice, to be honest with you. I don't think we'll be able to get hold of him. I think we're more interested in Maddison. Oh, Benfica. 1-0. There it is. And I feel that Sporting Lisbon should have got rid of that ball. It was one of those ones in the box that's just jumping around. And it breaks to their striker who just passes it into the bottom corner. They are VAR reviewing it, but I don't think it will get called away. It's one of them balls. Well, the ball's in the box. Everyone's kicking it about. It ricochets and it finds its way through. I think in that situation, just blast it clear, to be honest with you. Mickey Kavanagh says, hi, Mark. Can you congratulate my 13-year-old nephew on getting a trial for Cork City? Hopefully United might come calling next. Let's hope Ed Woodward isn't involved as he would ruin the negotiations. Well, good luck to your nephew, Kieran. And hopefully he will be a future Manchester United player. And hopefully he'll be a future Roy Keane, because he was from Cork, wasn't he? So hopefully history can strike twice. We could do with a Roy Keane type player. Shrenkel Music says, Mark, with Jose A's starting 11 lineup was Shaw, Lindelof, Smalling and Young. Pogba, Matic, Herrera, Martial, Lukaku, Mata. Only 2 of them are starters for Ollie. Interesting. Can't see that goal being disallowed. Another nice thing about this signing is I finally don't have to sign Bruno at the start of every Man United career mode in FIFA, says Leaf Hunter. Yeah, I tend to do that a lot as well. Although I do sign Timo Werner more. Hajmar says a lot of people watch the United stand in the Faroe Islands. We'll come over. So 1-0 Benfica. What do you think about Barcelona sacking the manager, Naim Yassin? Well, Real Madrid do it as well. I mean, Manchester United we are the Real Madrid and Barcelona of England. We are the Juventus of England. We are the PSG of England on status and size. We just don't act like it. Nowhere near a title race in 6 years. It's a disgrace. But Barcelona and Real Madrid, they just won't accept, even if they are near the title, they won't accept any hint of a drop-off. So, Mark, we've read that one, sorry. Chloe Jenkins, Duncan Castles is now saying Sporting have rejected United's offer due to ridiculous add-ons. We'll have a look. Don't you think the ref looks like Figo, says Calbow. Bit of a Poundland version, to be honest. Tricky Memento says Sanderberg is actually 6'5", Norwegian, good at heading, tackling and breaking up the play. He's already an international at 21 years of age with 20 appearances. They're taking a long time in Portugal on their VAR, don't they? It looks like a straightforward goal to me. Don't know why they're taking so long. Will you come to California? I love the show, says Thomas Mendanal. I'd love to at some point, yeah. Bruno not looking very happy. Well, how are they taking so long on this bloody job? This goal? What? I don't even know. Zane says, Mark, as you have said, you had Giggs and Cole on your show, why don't you try and get Roy Keane? I went to ask him for autograph when he was having pizza with his family and he gave me a death stare, but I held my ground and got his autograph. Fair play to you, Zane, for doing that. I would not go near Roy Keane. It's like going near a dog with their food, isn't it? I would not do that. How have they not? What are VAR even looking at here? Are they just trying to figure out how VAR works in Portugal? Bloody hell. Welcome to Lachlan Oberg, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. I'll finally get around to looking at Duncan Castle's tweet. I ain't said anything. Don't worry about that. Corner to Sporting. Probably about 10 minutes to go still, because they had 5 minutes of fireworks. So we'll get near this. Hi Mark, can you shout out? Oh, straight at the keeper again from Sporting. Hi Mark, can you shout out joining the Labour Party and voting Keir Starmer by January the 20th for the new Labour leadership vote, says Thomas Williams. No, I can't, because I don't do politics, but you've just done it with your super chat. So if people want to listen to Thomas Williams and back Keir Starmer as the Labour Party leader, that's up to them. But I'm not endorsing that at all. I don't even know who all the Labour Party candidates are, which shows you how interested I am in it. I've had enough of voting for things. I mean, that VAR thing took forever and he was clearly onside. That's even worse than England. They have worse VAR in Portugal than England, which is taking something. A few people saying Bruno crying. I have got no evidence of confirmation that Bruno Fernandes is crying at the moment. But the Sporting are making a substitution. It's not for Bruno Fernandes. We love you in Nigeria, says Abby Dixon. Thanks. Where's everyone watching from, actually? I've got nearly 20,000 people watching, and I think we all know why. They're tuning in for the last few minutes of this Sporting Lisbon game to see if Bruno Fernandes reacts. I think we are going to see a reaction. I think we are seeing the end of Bruno Fernandes at Sporting Lisbon. I think that's what we are seeing here tonight. He's had a quiet second half as well. He's on the ball now. He's knocked a decent ball in. That was a dangerous ball. Dangerous ball. Thanks for the contribution, Stuart Thomas. Welcome. Everybody who's tuning in. Please subscribe if you are new, bottom right hand corner. Hi Mark, says somebody who's just whizzed by. Do you think Daniel James will improve much if he replaces Rashford on the left wing, says Person 22. You know what I think it is with Dan James? I think he works really hard. I think he'll get better and better. He's still quite young. He's come from the Championship. He's been turned into a first team player when I think he should have been, you know, fed in gently. His problem at the moment is his final ball. His crossing and his passing and his shooting, but I still think he'll be a decent player for United. And in a game like Liverpool, you want him to run at Trent Alexander-Arnold if he plays off the left. I think Rashford will play though. Aylesbury not far from Milton Keynes, says Craig Thomas Miller. A geography lesson that I don't really understand. Benfica on the break here. Be interesting to see how long they add on, because I think they could be up to like maybe 7-8 minutes, to be honest with you. We'll find out. I think we're going to go over 20,000 people watching just to see whether Bruno Fernandes actually does do anything at full time. Come on, ref, tell us how long you're going to add on. Show us some Bruno as well. Is he crying? Yellow card to a player that it doesn't look like he's crying to me. He probably is quite emotional for the lad. But you're coming to a great club, mate. You're coming. You're going to be loved. I'm going to make everyone love Bruno Fernandes because with me on your side, you'll be fine. Hopefully, everybody. We've got 19,000 people watching. Just be patient with Bruno. He's a brilliant player if he comes to Manchester United. Give him time. Give him time. We're back in 1989, but no, give him time. It's going to be a great sign. We've got to love Bruno. He's the next Herrera. He's going to be loved like that because he's got passion. He'll love playing for Manchester United. I think he's going to be a cracking player. He's got to bloody get it signed. So we're into the 90th minute. They haven't told us how long they're going to add on. United won't announce Bruno till after Liverpool in case we lose, so we'll be happy, says Keno. I have that theory as well. "10 minutes added on." I told you there'd be bloody ages. 10 minutes added on. Sit down, have a rest, everybody. We've got nearly 20,000 people watching. 10 minutes have been added on. We'll be here at midnight. Big weekend, though. What a big weekend we've got coming up. That Liverpool game is massive. And obviously, Bruno would not be playing in that anyway, but it is a massive game, isn't it? Liverpool, Sunday. Watch along on the United Stand, of course. I think it's a 4:30 kickoff, isn't it? So that we'll be covering that. Tomorrow, we'll be keeping our eyes and ears open for transfer news around Bruno Fernandes. But in these next few minutes, I wonder if they'll take Bruno off or whether they'll let him... I think he should be subbed off, but it's such an important game for them. Red Baron says, "Zane, put that Daily Express newspaper down for a minute. Also, Mark, I fear for your mental stability if we don't sign Bruno," says Red Baron. And Mark, "Will Edward go back to being useless?" says Lachlan Oberg. Go back to being useless. He might still be useless. We'll have to wait and see if this deal gets done, of course. But Paddy Radio, thanks for the contribution there. Come on, Sporting. Give Bruno a send-off. He doesn't want to lose to Benfica. They are better than Sporting, though, to be honest with you. "Make United late great again," says Andrew Tucker. "Hi, Mark. How comes you were confident against Liverpool at Old Trafford, but you ain't confident against Liverpool at Anfield? What changed?" Says, does someone want to tell Amy Tucker why I might have been confident about playing Liverpool at Old Trafford and not at Anfield? Manchester United are at home at Old Trafford and Anfield were away. Do you think he will play against Burnley? Says Danny Disc. If he signs for us, I think he'll play. Yeah, I think I think he will. What's your honest score prediction for the game against Liverpool? Says Lukaku Larson. I think United might nick it, or it'll be 3-1 to Liverpool. Yeah, that was my score prediction from the preview, to be honest. Still 7 minutes to go. It's 1-0 to Benfica, by the way. I know we haven't got the score up or the timer up like we normally do on a watch along, but there's still 7 minutes to go. They've added 10 minutes on in this game because there was fireworks and flares being thrown on the pitch. So we've still got 7 minutes of stoppage time to go. Mark, would you make my night if you say up the dubs? Did you watch Gar when you lived in Dublin? Says a dub guy full. I didn't. I was fully aware of it though. I never really watched that or hurling. And my love's football. I don't really have the time to sort of learn other sports. Although I must admit, before this was on Free Sports Live, I was watching ice hockey. I've always liked ice hockey. I don't really have time to watch it. I do like ice hockey. I think it's because I used to play ice hockey on the Mega Drive, so I've always liked ice hockey because it's a bit like foot five-a-side on ice, isn't it? With some really weird rules, but I do like ice hockey. Not a fan of basketball. I just don't get basketball. because basically teams just keep scoring. Is Bruno similar to Ramsey in your opinion, says Paddy Radio? No, not really. Hello from Australia. Keep up the great content, says Scott Cook. Thanks, Scott. It's definitely not 1-1, everybody. It's nowhere near being 1-1. I did wonder if they would have took Bruno Fernandes off with like a minute to go, but I suppose it's more important to try and get a point, isn't it? 20k watching a non-United watch-along. Wow, says Simon Cliff. I know. We didn't have this many people watching for the Wolves game, and it's a Friday night game watching Bruno Fernandes watch-along without the proper studio setup. But it just shows you what an important player he is to Manchester United. And we've had nearly 5,000 likes, and I've not even asked anybody to like the video, I don't think. And still got 4 minutes to go in here. How did Bruno play, says Miguel? To be honest, I wouldn't. Out of 10, I'd probably give him a 6. I think he's had an average performance for himself, but not really got on the ball much. And I don't think anybody's had better than a 6, really, have they? So yeah, to be honest, I'm happy Bruno Fernandes has played like this. I didn't want him to score a hat-trick and suddenly his price goes up. Sporting have used all 3 of their subs, so we will have to wait till full time to see what the Bruno's reaction's going to be. He's had quite a quiet second half, if I'm honest with you. I like the Formula 1, Luke. When does it start? It must be kicking off soon. It's Ross's first watch-along. Well, join us for the second watch-along, which is Sunday afternoon for Liverpool. But we'll have lots of content for you before then. I'll be live tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, of course. We'll have a video in the day tomorrow as well. There's bound to be some updates. It could even be a signing update. We'll see. Who knows? Do you worry where Zayn gets his cash from, says Buster Nut. There's rich people out there, Buster Nut. There are rich people out there. Can you use the audio of your videos for podcasts, says Matt Carroll? Yes, I could. Do you like rugby when it's the World Cup? Yeah. We're approaching the time, everybody, now. We are approaching the time where we find out the reaction of Bruno Fernandes. And also, more importantly, he's not got injured. He's not got injured, has he? That's the main thing. He's not got himself injured. And there doesn't seem to have been anything coming out from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer about his embargoed section, does it? We've not seen anything about that. Ooh, that was a weird... Matu, who is a centre-back, trying some weird volley there on the back post. Who does he think he is? Neymar? Wasn't a bad bit of technique, to be fair. Thanks, Mark, says Dub Guy Full. I enjoyed the watch along tonight. Look forward to Sunday's game against the Pool. Yeah, me too, mate. Me too. I am looking forward to it. Watching from Norway, I hope we get Bruno, says Dag Hornrud. It took Klopp 4 years to win a trophy. How long do you think it will take Ollie to win a trophy, says Yuma Taki. He might do it this season. It won't be the Carabao Cup though. Still got a minute and a half left of this game. BBC have printed. I have said something in the last few minutes. They've they're just regurgitating the same story though. They're talking about the same thing again, and they've tweeted it out again 6 minutes ago. Will we ever hear the end of this potential transfer? Manchester United's move, and it's the same bloody quote. It's the same TVI. I think Benfica have scored a second goal while I was looking down there. Poor defensively and decent finish, to be fair. I suppose they're playing caution to the wind. Bruno will know he's going to lose now. It is 2-0 to Benfica. Scorer of both their goals, that player. Fernandes could use Ollie using a diamond 4-4-2, says Jackson Brett. Hi Mark, how far do you think we're coming from? We are from competing at the top, says Stuart Thomas. I think we're about 6 years. In case anybody didn't know, Portuguese football is crap, says Ross Gallagher. Pankaj Roshan says embargoed press conferences are released one day before the future fixture, so wait for tomorrow night, says Pankaj. Oh, I thought it was tonight. You're right. You are right. Be tomorrow night at 10:30 then. Bruno on the free kick. The ref blows. All eyes on Bruno now. All eyes on Bruno. Full-time whistle. All eyes onto Bruno Fernandes. He... I don't know. I mean, his face is... He could just be disappointed that he's lost the game. He could just be disappointed that he's lost the game. He's like this. He's going like this. He's not crying. I want to see tears, Bruno. Tears. Rip your shirt open, Manchester United, and then go fist pump, boom, shakalak. That's what we want to see. At the moment, it just looks like disappointment. I need to see more. The game is over. Some people are saying he's crying. You better cry, Bruno, says Lily. Rafa got a couple of goals for Benfica. Don't want to see about Rafa. Irrelevant. He's just a BTEC Bernardo Silva. Mark, what would you rather do? Go on a camping trip with Woodward sharing a tent, or not watch United for a season? Says Craig Thomas Miller. Can I? No, I'm not going to say that. But look, show me Bruno Fernandes here. I want to see what's happening with Bruno Fernandes. The game is over. The Sporting players are on the centre circle. Everyone give Bruno a big hug. Hold him up high. Oh, they're just showing Rafa. I don't want to see Rafa. I want to see Bruno. Cry for fuck's sake. Somebody go and put some lemon in. Oh, it's gone to a break. They're going to a bloody break. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a break. Come back. Come back. They've got to show us some more than that. That can't be it. That can't be the end of the bloody coverage. Get back and show us something. He's not coming, says Nick. It's gone off. It's gone to an advert. It will come back from the advert in a minute. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, because we've got 24,000 people watching. Bottom right hand corner to do that. So we've seen the Bruno Fernandes watch along tonight. I would say all in all his performance was rather average. That doesn't bother me. It's a derby. That Benfica are a lot better than Sporting Lisbon anyway. I think that United need to get this deal done. We hoped at the end that we would see a real obvious sign that he's coming to Manchester United, and all I saw was disappointment that could have been disappointment from losing the game. Obviously, as the evening as a whole, BBC have said that the deal's hit a snag. Sky is still very much saying that a deal is close. I think that the BBC story from Darren Fletcher isn't worth its weight, and I think the other thing they're talking about from Portuguese TV is not worth its weight. So I personally think that the most credible outlet at the moment is Sky, because of the people that are saying it. I don't think Darren Fletcher's credible. If Simon Stone comes out and says it's in trouble, I'll believe it. But if you look at James Cooper, you look at Sky Cave, you look at Sky this afternoon, I still believe that Manchester United are very, very close to getting that deal done. And I think that It could be announced tomorrow. It could be announced tomorrow. It could be after the Liverpool game, which is my suspicion anyway. There's no sign from Bruno Fernandes thus far after the game that he's definitely leaving. I think, to be honest with you, if I remember rightly in the summer, there was some big giveaways in the summer that he looked like he was leaving and he didn't. So even if he was bloody crying and putting his head down, would you really believe it? So it would have been nice if he'd cried. It would have been nice if he'd just, or not cried and just done an incredible Hulk and ripped his shirt open and there's a picture of me, or even better, a Manchester United shirt. That would have been lovely as well. There was the story this afternoon from Sky saying that sporting director, which I've struggled to find, the sporting director has said that he was going to play tonight and it would be his farewell game. Well, if it's his farewell game, where's the farewell evidence? You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to do. Damp Squid says Alan Tano. He looks disappointed and emotional, says Turkish G. There's still time for something to come back onto the telly and let us see something. The show has ended, says Hursty. I'll have a look on Twitter. Twitter never lets me down. Twitter is 100% credible, as we all know. That was a joke. Did Free Sport just ruin Bruno Watch? Yes, Rob Blanchett, it did. It did. There are some clips of him, but there's nothing major. He's not coming, end of. Negative people in the live comments, you see. Somebody's tweeted out Bruno Fernandes holding back the tears at the end of the game. I don't think that was... No, that's the same clip we've all seen. I'm not having that. Yeah, I've seen that. That's fine. Just a bit of a social media roundup in case this TV does come back to the game, but it might not be doing that. But at the moment, it's all eyes on Bruno and not much of a reaction. But he did get through. He did get through without an injury. That's the most important thing. No injury. And I think most Manchester United fans were on Bruno watch tonight, weren't they? What is Free Sports? Free Sports are not going to go back to the game, are they? They're not. They're bloody knobheads. Strongman Champions League. Give me some Bruno. Give me some Bruno. Okay, well, I think we're going to end it there because I don't think we're going to get anything off the telly now. So I think a lot of what we're going to get might come in a few minutes. There is a tweet from somebody saying that Bruno is now walking around the pitch waving to all the supporters. He's just given his kit to a young fan, boy in tears, and now Bruno, he looks off. What a moment. That's from quite a credible account saying that as well. So that's looking good. Oh no, he's saying it didn't happen. You twat. It is unfollow at UTD Excellence because you've just mugged off your own fans. You don't unfollow him really. I think we follow him, but he's took the piss. He's taken the piss. Taking the absolute piss doing that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, I'm going to end it because I've really enjoyed the stream. I hope it leads to Bruno Fernandes signing for us. I'm sure there's going to be some more news tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe in the bottom right hand corner. Bruno Fernandes has just gone to the tunnel, so nothing more. Maybe it's not going to happen tomorrow. Maybe it's going to drag on even more. Didn't look like it was his last game, did it? If he's reacting like that, didn't look like it was a farewell. So there we go. Thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all soon. Please do go and check out the interview with Andy Cole. It went up at 6 o'clock, and obviously it's not at the hours it normally would get to breathe. If you've not seen the interview with Andy Cole, he talks about Bruno Fernandes and he talks about Koulibaly and he talks about Solskjaer. Really interesting interview. That's on our homepage. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon.